Go live. And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And you are here live on the Rugby Fan Forum, brought to you by BOYLESPORTS. And keeping me company for the next hour is Mr. Reza, who is, can I verify, probably absolutely sweltering in the disgusting heat that is currently Johannesburg at the moment. And on the other end of the stick, Chris is sitting in a hoodie in a very, I assume, pretty chilly UK as things approach winter. Gentlemen, how are we looking? How are we feeling? How's life?
Yeah, I don't think this much liquid's come out of my body in a long time, but it's sweltering. Yeah, I've got an office with an aircon, and it's doing absolutely nothing right now but blowing all the air back at me. So,
well, I've got a fan that kind of comes on and off as the heat goes. It's just turned on, but we'll have to wait and see how long it actually lasts.
Yeah,
it's tough out here. And Chris?
Yeah, good, man. Yeah, not as hot, definitely not, but it's my type of weather, so I'm happy. All good, all good.
Well, we're gonna have to get you down here, because you can't just sit here over there and watch us sweat. We need you down here, sweating down here. So come down here, come visit. We could do a fan forum in person with some beers.
That would be pretty cool.
Cool. I really want to see what Chris looks like when he rages at me in person.
Yeah. and now there can be nothing hold back, dude. If something says do something controversial, you can actually get up and start like hitting him, dude. Like we could actually see some physical stuff going on there. Just do it for the views. We'll take him to Ellis Park in a Sharks jersey and just throw him to the crowd, throw him to the wolves.
You're assuming he makes it into the stadium, but
I've been holding back on the Lions comments, boys, but I have no ammo, right? Because the Stormers are fucking shit as well.
No, that's the one thing. It's like nobody can stand us at the moment. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're shit." And I was like, I mean, we're not losing at home to Connacht. I mean, we're not getting dribbed, but yeah, so we're actually not doing too badly. It's interesting. Like there are no real positives, but like my only positive, the Lions are losing, but at least they're like losing competitively. It's like this
really
weird small.
Really scraping the bottom of the barrel here, aren't we?
No, we are.
Seeing my time away from
you guys are the best. You are actually the best losers ever. Actually, if you think about it, those Super Rugby losses that you were playing amazing rugby. Those are hard. Well. You were losing very, very well, very, very well. So
yeah, so,
points for style, right?
Yeah, hopefully we'll learn how to ugly soon rather than lose the style. But anyway, in the next hour, gentlemen, we have got lots to talk about. It is May. We are full into URC season. And that's basically going to be the main sort of thing. Because obviously teams have gone overseas and forgotten to play rugby. And what we're going to be talking a little bit about is how much rely on this. How much can you rely on the Springboks, and how much is it a valid excuse? Look, for the Lions, they don't have a single player back, so it's not really a factor for them. But I think for certain teams, I think it's a worn-out excuse, and I think is a much bigger issue we should probably address. We're also talking about the elections this weekend. In fact, 3 sides back in the country. The Lions and the Bulls are back on Highveld, and with that, I'm pretty sure we could see a change in fortunes for them, because we know about the South Africans. They are a different animal when they are back at home. So lots of cool things to talk about. Ian Foster's a bit complaining about referee decisions. There's been a bit of a quiet week on the rugby front. I think everybody's starting to come out a little bit of that first World Cup lull, where we kind of like, okay, cool, time to move on from the Springboks and start actually getting into a bit of December vibes. But let's look at last weekend. And Chris, we'll start with you. 4 losses. Sharks even ruining our treble bet that we had last week. Losing at home. Stormers, not getting go. Lions were coming within 7, but that. And then the Bulls, ill-disciplined cards and another loss. You said it, the fact that the SA teams can't travel. Why can't we travel?
I don't know, Stevie. It's my mind blows, man. Honestly, I really don't understand it, because if you look at these teams on paper, okay, maybe we might be in close games and these games away, but it's chalk and cheese. We're gonna see it this weekend. We're gonna see completely different Lions and Bulls. But why is that the case? And we go, okay, South African teams travel badly, right? But let's face it, the guys coming to us also don't travel well, right? So I want to say it's a South African issue. Like my South African biased hat on is like it is, because in my mind, I feel our teams on paper should be doing better. But then it's the same story. Like I think I made the comment to you guys a week or two before about, I think, the Sharks and Ospreys, right? I said, like, Ospreys are going to probably win this game by 2-3 points. Exact same teams in Durban, Sharks will probably win by 20. It's like it's a weird, it was like this in Super Rugby as well, you know. And I would say the New Zealand or Aussie teams probably traveled better than the Northern Hemisphere teams are doing. And I know the international breaks, I mean, they come with weaker squads and blah blah blah. But I just don't know. As a betting person, like watching the trends and form, this has been the story of the last 3 seasons. Stevie, I can't put my finger on it. I don't understand it. It shouldn't go this way. But in saying that, the Irish and Welsh and Scottish teams could say the same, right? Because they come here and Cardiff beat the Sharks, but Cardiff won 34-0 last year against the Sharks this time last year, which Rian pointed out last year. Sharks are just a bloody anomaly. I freaking can't understand the Sharks, but I think we're going to see comfortable Bulls and Lions wins this week, and I think Sharks as well. If the Sharks can't do well against the Dragons, then God help them, really.
Yeah, they did lose to Zebre, and they did lose to a rotated Connacht side, because I was doing the Watchalong last week and people were like, no, but Connacht are a good side, and Connacht are a good side, but it wasn't a particularly strong Connacht side. They weren't at their best. So, yeah, we're gonna have to talk about the Sharks very, very specifically, I think, in a little bit. But Rees, as I said, clutching a straw, scraping the barrel. The Lions are an interesting dilemma or sort of anomaly at the moment, because they're playing pretty well. There's no doubt for me, for example, that we are playing better rugby than we were a year ago. We are only 1 win out of 5 now, but every single loss, and to be fair, it's been losses to Stormers, Ulster, Edinburgh, and Edinburgh and Ulster were both away, and Ulster got a very good home record against any teams. But do we, as a fan, what are we happy with? Obviously, we're not happy with what we're doing at the moment, but do we relish in the fact that there does seem to be a bit of improvement? The fact that we can push an Ulster side, which had international players, to within 7 points, that we can beat a Scarlets away. Not that Scarlets are fantastic, but we lost to Benton within 5. Probably could have won that game. Ulster feel we won that game, and the Stormers, we came right up towards the end. And if there was, I think if there wasn't that knock on, on the front foot, almost looking like we could have potentially gone to score. So close but no cigar. Are there any positives there, or do we is this just papering over the cracks of a failed union?
Well, it's a loaded question, honestly, Stevie. It really is. But one that I'm quite comfortable answering, actually, because I think let me start out by saying, I think, as you said, paint over a failed union. I think that's my first answer. But to elaborate on the point is, we have a Lions team that has seen the highest of highs, and ever since those highs has been in a steady decline. And so when we get to this point and we have to celebrate the fact that we are losing well, and as you say, 1 out of 5 games, it actually doesn't mean anything to me at all, because at this kind of level, of course, we expect guys not to get blown out of the water, and we lambasted the Welsh teams last season when they were getting blown out constantly. And so we're now just a tier above that, saying, okay, yeah, no, you're losing just as much, but actually you're just not losing as badly. And that, to me, we cannot accept mediocrity. We shouldn't accept mediocrity, and it's worse than mediocrity at this point. If we have to just have a look firstly at the union, that's the bigger problem here. The fact that we have no internationals is a huge issue to me, because every single one of these teams should be involved in the national setup in some way. The fact that there aren't any that we as a national selectors see as potential for that side is a big problem.
And also, it's not like none of us are blaming the Springbok case. No one's saying, I can't believe they're just ignoring the Lions players. You look at that squad and you can think, and you can see future Springboks, but you can't see anyone there that should be part of the box squad right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about the potential of a guy like Hector van Wyk, and I just don't know whether we see him into that setup as soon as we need him to be, before he has 2-3 years at the Lions, realizes this is a pretty shit time, and takes bank and moves somewhere else, and that's a problem, because then he might move to a Sharks or a Bulls or a Stormers, or he might move overseas and get his call up that way, and that will just feed into this idea that the Lions are not the union to get you to where you need to be.
No, it's like this buffer, It's like talent shopping.
Yeah, exactly that, and it's great actually, because the longer these, let's call them the minnows of South African rugby, play together, they will obviously start to gel more, and they will obviously start to play better, which is really why I think, as you said, they've been losing, but they've been losing well. It looks good, right? Because when you're a team that has this much time together, you're not disrupted by internationals leaving and all that kind of thing. You're bound to play a decent brand of rugby. But there are no superstars there. I still can't believe Willem Albers is on the field, to be very honest with you.
Hey, man's putting in shifts though, but it is a problem. And how is Willem Albers like one of our better locks? I mean, look, credit to him. He's 40 years old and getting around the park. But for me, if he's even part of the squad, it should be like a squad depth type thing. Need him if we need him. And the fact that he's had to come and now he's starting and playing almost a full 80 minutes at 40 years old, basically.
Correct. I mean, the fact that we're relying this heavily on him is a bit of a problem. I like to use the Dwayne Vermeulen example, and maybe it's not an exact fit, but we've found a way in the World Cup and just before World Cup to shift Dwayne around, to utilize him in a specific role. And he wasn't the be all and end all. We had Jasper, we had other guys that could fill the void, so to speak. And it seems like Willem Albers is a microcosm of an example, but if we have to rely on him for, as you say, 75, 80 minutes to get us through a game that we're ultimately losing, there's a bigger issue there.
Yeah, 100%.
And this is honestly like an honest question, right? As an outsider, not a Lions fan, compared to where you guys were, right? When you made those Super Rugby finals, you had Scorsese making the box, Marks, Faf.
I just could see Warren Whiteley.
Whiteley was Super captain, right? So what do you, because you guys are close to the union, what's happened in the last 6, 7 years that you've gone from that to this? Is it money? Is it coaching? Is it players? What has happened? Because you guys were, right, you were leading the South African charge there for a while, right? And the guys were coming through. Is it, what from your guys' point of view happened?
We're leading a playing style revolution. And my answer to you, Chris, I'll let Steve answer it, but for me, it's there's two things that I'd like to have seen, and that's talent retention, and that goes not only to players but also to coaching as well as. And then the one thing that they did do, they retained everyone in management. We're talking now administratively, when they shouldn't, and everyone else kind of was on a rolling treadmill of players and coaches and all sorts of stuff. And that's really where you don't want movement to be happening so often.
Yeah, I think money's obviously the big thing, and there is this lack of money, and we really need to see a private investment. But I do think that, as Rita said, I think it's stale. I think in the boardroom, there has been a couple of movements, but not a lot. Since Kevin de Klerk left, we've actually really missed him. I don't think anyone's really sort of stepped up to that. Talent retention, I think, is the biggest thing. And the frustrating thing is, as I think, we rest on our laurels. We got there and we said, we've got this amazing squad. We've made 3 Super Rugby finals in a row. We've got this coaching staff that did it. Ackerman did it, and then Swace did it. And then they literally all left. Joey Mangalo left, which I think at the time was sort of under a bit more sort of other circumstances and stuff, which contributed to that. They then appointed Ivan Vernoren, who they gave zero support in his first season. He had really poor assistance, didn't have much support. Then all of a sudden they had a bit of an overall and brought in Ricardo Loubser and Albert Vandenberg and Jacques Verrie, for example. And it's difficult, for example, to look at it and say it's a coaching problem, because on paper that side is better than very few in this URC. You struggle to find a URC side which on paper is worse from a player-to-player type of point of view, because we're the only side in the URC that doesn't have an international player, literally the only side. Even Zebra have a couple of internationals in their side, albeit playing for Italy and the likes. But we don't have a single player. And I think the biggest problem is, and I mean, last year we heard horror stories about them, literally walking 2Ks to do their own laundry on a Thursday whilst on tour, eating hot dogs for lunch. And I mean that ridiculous. And you sit there going, this is the ridiculousness of the union, who have got the best young talent recruitment strategy in the country. They make no apology of the fact that they go and buy the best young players, which is why under 20s and ones have been the strongest players for the last 3-4 years. But then if they're leaving by the time they're 22, 20, what's the point?
Yeah, but that's what I was saying about what, like, those players that came there was Creel, Whiteley, Squazad, and they all made the box, right? Yakatata, I don't know if it was him, maybe he was maybe before that. But you guys, so I'm saying, what is the players, coaching? I understand it was Ackerman. I can't remember. I must remember. My memory is like jaded about when Mitchell was there, then Ackerman. But you were strong, right? And maybe for me, it looks like the players. If you look at the teams, the player. I don't know about the coaching, but if you even look at the players, let's be honest, right? I don't like you just said earlier in the show. Like, I don't think any of these players would make the top. It would make a Springbok 23, right?
I'll tell you what, it was a big moment in the union was, remember post-COVID when SA Rugby basically gave players a free move. They basically said you can walk out on your contracts, and we lost Tyron Green. I think Burger Wooden moved on, and I think Mark was sort of in and amongst moving, but he moved officially. Like he was basically doing that Japan, like kind of playing for Japan for a few weeks. They came back to the Lions. He moved on. I think Johnny Lombard. I think Elton Yankees eventually moved on as well.
Lombard.
Yeah, because Jack Creel and those guys, a lot of those guys had already moved on, but we still had a couple of players who were coming through, and they said, right, cool, well, if you guys want to leave, you guys can. And we lost, I think, Dylan Smith, and it wasn't even just the big superstars, but the squad walked out. And whilst the Bulls post-COVID have brought back, Colo's back, Billy Ruiz back down, all the stuff like that. Stormers have brought back players. Sharks brought back players. We brought back Willem Alberts and Ruan Smith.
But I think that's my point. What has changed in the Lions Union, or if any, from that period to now? Like, why you were there? What has changed? That's what I want. Is it the money, coaching, the talent? What is the difference between the Lions of 5-6 years ago to now?
As I said, I think you nailed it down to top level management, and that filters down to the fact that we couldn't retain.
So you're going from right to the top, yeah.
Yeah, because they make the decisions. Ultimately, they're the ones making the decisions. So they couldn't retain the likes of Johan Ackerman. They couldn't retain the likes of Malcolm Marks. And
so Ackerman as well. So many good players there. You guys.
And even if that's a money issue, what are we doing about it? Because you can't just say, "Oh, guys, we had a great Super Rugby team. We had these great coaches. Unfortunately, we can't afford to keep them." Because then you're going to say, "Okay, but." Are we doing about it? Are we looking for a private investor? Are we going to go try and find a new owner? Like, how do we find the money to be able to keep these phenomenal players that we've got? This side that we've got right now, I think is 3 or 4 Springboks away from being reasonably competitive, and I think it's 3 to 4 years away from being very competitive. But what do we always talk about? Well, where Hendricks are going to go? Where's Henko van Wyk going to go? It's not even a thought at the moment that Henko van Wyk, Jordan Hendricks, Ruan Venter, Franco Horn are going to be playing at this union in 4 years' time. That's like most Lions fans are basically, we've come to the acceptance of the fact that they won't be. It's about when they leave, not if.
Sorry, I just want to jump in here and I see Dun 1112, a couple of comments that the URC comp doesn't matter, Box won the important prize, the other one should have stayed in Super Rugby anyways, URC is a waste of time.
I agree.
I'm all on the URC.
But since
we're talking about the Lions in particular, and I'll focus on the Lions and their perspective for URC. You take this Lions team and you throw them back into Super Rugby. I promise you, they get drubbed every single time, repeatedly. That's honestly what I think happens, and so I don't see the relevance of from a Lions perspective, not from the bigger overall picture. I don't think it really matters which competition we're in.
Except that when we become, at the end of the season, we become full URC members. And then, in theory, there's supposed to be this floodgate of money that is supposedly supposed to come to SA Rugby, and Lions will get a share of that, same as the EPCR, which I think kicks in 2025. So, in theory, this was always a very long-term wait up the URC 2, 3, 4 seasons, and all of a sudden start getting euros into the union.
So what you're telling me is that the Sharks, who already have money, will then have more money, and the Lions will have some money, and the exact same thing will be happening because the Sharks will just have more money to throw at the players, and it doesn't solve our problem. I'm sorry.
Well, the
Bring back the cats. Bring back the cats.
No, we will not be bringing back the cats. But the problem is that the Lions, I can guarantee you right now, and I'd love them to show me the numbers differently, but there is no ways that the Lions are using their salary cap. There's no ways we max out the salary cap. Whereas I'm sure the Sharks right now are maxed out. I know the Stormers at one stage weren't. I'd be very surprised still not. 100% the Bulls, I reckon, are maxing out that salary cap. I don't think the Lions come anywhere close. So in theory, that is the leveler, but I still think there's a lot of behind the door stuff happening with Sharks players. I mean, Eben Etzebeth comes back and all of a sudden he's got a Mercedes ambassadorship. He's the face of Dulux. He's got all these different commercial deals and stuff like that, which is definitely, I think, for me, how Sharks are doing a lot of this because they can't over the salary cap, but, you know, they can put their players in the same room as the Mercedes CEO who goes, listen, we can sort you out with a car and for this amount of money, we can become the face of Mercedes and all that kind of thing, which you don't get at the Lions. You get hot dogs, quite literally.
Can we move on to the Sharks? This is actually upsetting me now. I don't feel like talking.
No, what I actually want, because I think it's a very good comment that he mentioned, and I want to talk because I see a lot of this rhetoric. We've got to, my opinion, we've got to move away from this whole URC doesn't matter, the World Cup, we won the World Cup. You know, the end of year tour doesn't matter, we won the World Cup. Surely, don't you think it's time that we need to start playing rugby in between World Cups from a domestic point of view? For me, it's simplistic to sit there and say the URC is irrelevant because we won the World Cup. So we're not supposed to do
as long as the World Cups, then really, that's all that matters.
But you're not really a fan of rugby. You're not really a fan of rugby if you're praying for if you're living for World Cups, because we all sit here. We are exciting. We find it exciting to look forward to rugby.
It's not even. It's about our teams, right? It's about our teams and our tribes. We whoever we support them back. We want them to do well. We want them to win. I agree. You can't make excuses. I agree with that. Obviously, the World Cup for us as Springbok supporters is great, right? But I would hate the Stormers to be cuck between to sacrifice. You know, I'm not. You know, I want to go and watch the Stormers win, right? You want to go watch the Lions win.
But as the Springboks, we also need to stop this whole doesn't matter that we didn't lose, we win the Rugby Championship because we're going to win the World Cup. We need to win Rugby Championships. We need to win the Nelson Mandela Freedom Cup. You know, like we can't just win a trophy one stage every 12 years and be like, well, everything's lacquer. You know, it's
let me put it this way. How much did we enjoy dunking on teams like France and Ireland and the Welsh and the English and so on in the World Cup, right? Now, if we take that same enthusiasm and apply it to domestic rugby and say, why can we not dominate them in every sphere?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Sorry.
Why would you just
let's go back to last year. Remember the buzz when the Stormers won the URC? And everyone was like, well, we've just walked into Europe and we've just dominated, boys. Like, we're here. URC is phenomenal. This is the coolest competition ever. We're winning it. Everyone loved it.
All of a sudden, that BDE energy is gone.
Yeah, because we're being a bit shit. We've got to focus on this. We've got to find a reason. And I think the URC is actually a pretty decent product. I know Chris is a rugby stan, but I think there's a lot to enjoy about the URC.
No, but when 3 years ago when the URC started, we joined. This happened because I remember this distinctly. This exact same thing happened when our guys went overseas. We were losing. Bulls were losing. We were all losing. Stormers came back unbeaten, 10, 12 games, won the tournament. I reckon between the Bulls and the Stormers, they're going to win this tournament again. We might be cuck, we might travel shit, but at home we're a different story. We're different beasts, and I think it's the exact same thing happened. I think we're going to go to the conversation about walks. It makes a massive difference. There's quality players and there's average players and there's not.
And we've seen how much URC and in particular talking about Ireland, we've seen how much this has benefited them on a national level. There's only so long we can go being crap domestically before it starts to filter down into the box, right?
Yeah,
that's the honest truth of it. And I stand by that. That if we land up, and you see it with the Welsh as well. I mean, you can't sit here and tell me that if we allow this trend to keep going, that in 3 years' time we sit here in the box.
I agree. I have a comment from Rick, just quickly, guys. An Irish friend. Obviously, that Ireland loss was big, right? The whole nation, everything about Ireland, you know. But he made a comment. So he's a Leinster fan. He says the La Rochelle loss last year in the European final at home in Dublin still hurts more than the quarterfinal against New Zealand, right? So that's like the point to make, and like it does matter. Domestic does matter. It absolutely does, and I totally agree. And it is all about winning. And yeah, there's a lot to what's the word? I don't know what the word is, to when you want to compromise that part of rugby to win a World Cup. But as long as it's World Cups, I will still take a World Cup over 4 losing championships.
And I mean, Dan says again, at least the Stormers have won a URC second final too.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%, and we're all incredibly proud of them. So why write off the URC like it's nothing when it's a huge achievement for the Stormers to go that to go that far?
No, it is. Carry on. No, I just think, as I said, for me, we've but same with even with the rugby championships. Why does everybody think of New Zealand as the greatest side out there? Because they, first of all, won 3 World Cups. Yes, we've won 4. So on a World Cup basis, we were dominant. But everybody always talks about New Zealand as the greatest rugby team of all time, like that, because they were so dominant in between these years. And I think we need to move away from the mindset that it's one or the other, that we can either win rugby championships or we can win the World Cup. When do we take, as a nation who have now won the most Rugby World Cups, have gone back-to-back away World Cups, they've got the most professional rugby players out there of all nations. It's time for us to start dominating rugby, like everywhere. We've got the to be competitive domestically, and for me, we've got the talent in an international space to win rugby championships. But
Stevie, we should have lost the team, but why haven't we? Especially since the professional era. We don't know before professional because obviously we were isolated. There were no interprovincial. Why? Right. So we should don't. Let's be honest. We should even dominate New Zealand. Why don't we? Why don't we go overseas and win games that we should? That's a big question, right?
I think it's the right.
Mind blows. Exactly. Like I don't understand how.
No one's got the answer, but I think that's the next step, isn't it? In the BOK evolution, we need to understand why can't we become that dominant force where people just can't touch us because we've got the depth of players.
But that's also why we don't have the respect, I think, because in between let's be honest, everyone's perception is New Zealand are the greatest rugby team, and I think all 3 of us would agree. So when they are playing the rugby they do, 80% win record, win, it's hard for the proper purists to accept the books to come in there, steamroll 4 games and win a World Cup and say, yeah, we're the greatest, right? I can understand why there is that issue.
I'm not ready to have this conversation, bro. For the next 2 years, the Boks are the greatest. I don't care what anyone says. I'm not ready to have this conversation.
Fair enough, Reza. Fair enough.
I just wanted to dunk on the Sharks, and I'm actually having to talk about how good New Zealand is. Thank you.
Well, let's go back because I worried that the downfall of the streets is going to be this absolute joke of a Durban franchise who were so busy talking about how they made English the only language people are allowed to talk, and they all throw a little pebble into a box and say that they're all one and they're inclusive and they've got this amazing culture. And they run into a rugby field and they look like a bunch of bloody juniors. 5 losses in a row. 2 points out of a possible 25 for a union that has, I think it's 8 World Cup winners. They've got Bongi Manambi, Oxen, Chins and Cock. They've got a Springbok World Cup winning front row. They've got Evan Etzebeth in that back row. They've got 2 World Cup winning scrum halves. They've got Lakanya, they've got Marcus on the Pimpy in there. That's 8 World Cup winners. Before we go into the players, I mean, last weekend they lost to Connacht despite having 9 internationally capped players in their side.
So, yeah, it is a problem, and I see. I mean, most of the comments today have kind of been focused around the Sharks. I think a lot of people are saying that travel is a factor. I don't know. I don't think this team gets better when their Boks come back.
Well, I think that's
what
we
want to
talk about.
I think all our teams do.
Oh wow.
But I'm sorry, that was insensitive. Sorry, guys. The 3 other teams.
Yeah,
sorry.
Boys. The Lions. We're gonna get a lot better.
Reza, you're trying to make your point. Yeah, carry on. Yeah.
Sorry, man. Yeah. So. Yeah. I obviously there will be some level of improvement. Having said that, though, I think it will be obviously just the quality of the individuals coming back that will improve it. As a team, you want to be able to see your better players slide into a system that's already there and improve it. Now, the system that the Sharks are currently playing with is near non-existent. And it seems like just a complete wild card at the moment. There's something that I wanted to talk about Piwa Deanti, who was very excited to see back in rugby and so on, and everyone is kind of keen to see how he went. I don't know, Steve, if you saw the article.
No.
I don't know if you saw the article about from Gordon Darcy. I think it's about yesterday actually, criticizing the return of Piwa Deanti and also then labeling, saying that he couldn't believe the enthusiasm Piwa got from his home crowd when he played in front of them, and they couldn't believe the reception he got from South Africans. And this is aside from the performance of the Sharks, but I've been wanting to talk about this so badly, and he lambasted South Africans for encouraging this doping man, this man who's come back, who had steroids in his system and so on. And I'm sitting there and I couldn't believe that this guy had the audacity to go that we are encouraging this system. And he referenced Chidiwe Radapele and so on. And I'm sitting there going, hold on, but we actually caught our guys who do it on steroids and who did these kind of things. And when they were punished, they came back into the fold, because a prison sentence is exactly that. You do your time, you walk out, right?
He didn't do anything. I'm sorry, he didn't do anything illegal. He did anything illegal within sport. You know, he's not going to get locked up in jail. So he's happy. He's happy to just go and like praise the Shazar and the Sevu Rees, for example, who are convicted women abusers. But now, how dare we want a guy who, I think when he got injured, tried to find a bit of a shortcut or got the wrong advice, maybe took the wrong things, got banned, got caught, served 4 years. I mean, this guy, he would have been a double cup winner, a British and Irish Lions winner. He would have been one of the most decorated Springboks of all time. He just won the Breakthrough Player of the Year, you know, and he might not be remembered at all.
I think he's been punished fairly, and he served his time. I mean, give the man a bit of a break. What are we supposed to boo him 4 years after he took a bit of steroids? And that must be his legacy for life. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And then to say that, well, you know, oh, well, it's like, what was the other thing? He referenced Yankees as well. And then he said that, you know, Rusty Erasmus is encouraging this doper to come back into the Springbok squads, and that everyone deserves a second chance, but South Africans can't give this ringing endorsement for a proven doper to contribute towards a graying culture of cheating. And then he said that it doesn't matter that Piwa took steroids 4 years ago. He actually said this. He said the man is still built on the foundations of those steroids and therefore still has an advantage to this day from the steroids he took 4 years ago, probably 5 years ago. I think, what a joke. I mean,
load of absolute rubbish. And I've just seen the article over here where he said Deanti's major asset is the speed. Has he watched him? Please tell me at one stage when you've ever watched a period Deanti and you've, shit, this oak's only good because he's fast. Like, that was something that people used to say about Mapimpi, because he was just absolutely rapid. If you go back 4 to 5 years ago, he was an unbelievable finisher, because that, if you gave Mapimpi half for a yard, he was so, I mean, Deanti was never slow, but this sort of came through as an outside center. And you look at the tries he scored for the box, how many times did he step inside a player for a try? You know, chips and chase, for example. And I mean, the reason he was World Break of the Year and he was so good is because he was a guy that had the physical attributes. He was quick and he was moving around, but he had an unreal skill set, an unreal win of the game, which I'm sorry, steroids doesn't give you. You know, you can't inject handling into yourself.
You know? Well, I mean, steroids are certainly not helping him 5 years later.
Yeah.
You know, it's a joke. But in the microcosm, sorry, because I'm sure you also have some comments here about the Sharks. But this whole thing about the Sharks is quite sad for me. And I think that they've got so many big names behind them. I'm sure the guys like Rock Nation and so on, who were heavily invested in a bunch of Sharks athletes, of course, Sia Khaleesi being the big one before he's now left. But you've got to wonder, these sponsors who have invested so heavily got to be sitting back there and wondering, just if we picked the wrong team.
They have to go to Lions.
Maybe that's your turn, buddy. That was yours.
I don't know what to say about the Sharks. It's very perplexing. Like when it gets to this level, I start to wonder it's bigger than the players in the team. That's like Australia in the World Cup for me. Maybe I don't know if it's because you can talk about teams that go rock bottom before they go back up, but this Shark team should not be where they are. And the fact that they're showing this week in, week out tells me there's bigger issues than the match day. We get to Saturday and we play. You know, rugby players, these are professional players. They're not playing. Like Australia didn't play for Eddie Jones because they knew he was out. I'm pretty sure of that. Players know that, right? They're not playing for the cause. So, like, if you look at the Sharks on paper, there's no way in hell they should be performing the way they are. I'm still going to back them against the Dragons. I'm going to give them one more chance.
Yeah, but I think you make such a good point about on paper. I mean, on paper, you've got players like, you know, I mean, their front row last weekend was Currie Oost, the two props, but Currie Oost and Instuko Tunu, who are internationally capped props. You know, you had Aprili Fassi at full back. You had Francois their centre was Francois Fed to the Kanya with Rowan Jans van Rensburg coming off the bench. A big rhetoric, and a lot of people are talking about it, and I want to throw it to you guys. Curwin Bosch, a lot of people.
Okay, I was going to get there, but you threw his name out, and I'm not sticking. Okay, here we go. I'm not sticking up for this guy anymore.
Is he the problem?
Yes. Yes. I'm not sticking up for this fucker anymore. Sorry, Simone. I'm not sticking up for this guy anymore. No, he's been given so many opportunities. He's not good enough. Sorry, Kerwin, if you're watching. Love you, guy. Good luck if you play club rugby. You're not good for Sharks. Sure? You're not good for anybody.
I'm not entirely sure you get to say it like that. And then say, so let's still love you, buddy. I mean,
sorry. I'm gonna cut. But he's not. He is a big problem. Massive problem. There we go. He's not good enough. End of story.
I'm struggling to remember a time. I'm struggling to remember a time where I actually thought he was the one. You know what I mean?
I watched him at school level, and I was like, oh my goodness.
It always felt for me like there was just a shadow of doubt. There's always this lingering feeling that something could go wrong at any moment. You know, that Pollard consistency that we all crave in our fly-offs is not there. And I think Marty Libok is a perfected Curwin Bosch, if that makes sense.
Do you think Curwin Bosch, if Curwin Bosch went to the right sort of environment, do you think he can roll? But he could still, because I mean, look on paper, there's a lot of box seat ticks. I still think his defense is obviously still probably quite questionable and stuff like that. But you sit there, how does what was one? I mean, he was one of the most talented. I mean, he won Craven Week Player of the Year at 17. And, you know, if you look at this age group, there were a hell of a lot of good players playing in those Craven weeks. And he was like the go-to schoolboy player because he was just a different level. And he's moments over his career where he's like threatened to take that step, but he just hasn't found that consistency.
Like, all right.
Hey. Leave my scrum cap chap with his gloves. I think last time I saw him in a news article was stealing golf clubs. So
correct.
Yeah, let's not go down the Earl Rose rabbit hole.
Oh, what did Grant say? Curwin Bosch looks like the quintessential Lions player. Yeah,
no, that's unfair.
And I agree at the same time.
Alton's a little bit better, just a little bit.
He'd be like the fourth choice fly half. Nahambo at 1, Hendricks at 2, Lombard at 3. Then we probably put Kieran Horn, maybe Morne van den Berg, potentially JP Smith, and then we might look at a Kerwin.
No, guys. Honest question. A special file. This is a true question. People who be given that opportunity in unions, 1 or 2 max. This Curwin Bosch has been given almost 10 bloody years. Really? Am I being unfair?
It's a little.
How many opportunities?
He is only 26, so I don't think he's been playing Sharks since 16. But
yeah, I don't think he has a role. I don't think he has a role at all.
I think my frustration is that. Sorry, you said they say he doesn't have a role, but Sharks acting like he's the only option. They signed Siamasuku.
Yeah.
But every time Butcher Chamberlain plays 10, they play twice as better. Yeah. And Chamberlain's not even international quality. He's better, but he's better than Kerwin.
Siamasuku had a great season last year for Cheetah. Go and sign him and say, right, we just picked like one of the form fly halves, like this really exciting, cool fly half. Where is he? Hasn't played yet. He hasn't made his debut. They've lost 5 games in a row, and at one stage they thought, you know what? We actually signed this very exciting, cool fly half. Maybe we should just throw him in and see what he could do, even off the damn bench.
I mean,
my mind
I see Matty Dixon saying he's had some good performances. I mean, yeah, sure. If you've played 500 games, you're bound to have at least 10. You know, but that's not the point. We're talking.
I think we all know what the expectations are, right, Reese? Like I'm not like I don't want to be, you know. No. Come on, come on.
You have to be performing at this level when you're playing for a union like the Sharks. It demands the absolute best, and for the Sharks to sit here, I'm surprised if he's still. Honestly, if his season continues like this, I'm surprised he's still there next year.
Well, that'll be amazing.
I said last season, I said I think he needs to leave. I said it's not working at the Sharks, and if he wants to take that next step, he needs to roll the dice and find a new place.
He could be a Libbok, right? He could, because Libbok, we could have said the same thing about, like he just said, Libbok 4 years ago. Maybe it is the spot.
Bulls, Sharks. And all of a sudden,
and maybe if Bosch goes to the right spots, he'll flourish for sure, because he's got the talent, but he hasn't showed it at the Sharks. And even when he got his opportunity in the box, for me, he's not showing. For me, he's not even a starter for the Sharks. That's my point. I mean, that's the thing for me, right? And the Sharks are struggling, and that pivot is so important to any team. 9 and 10 is so crucial for any good team to do well, right? And they don't.
Sorry.
What? Bring back Rain up to the Sharks. I agree, right?
Campo's comment here. Bosch must have some influence somewhere that keeps him in a parent or family member with either dirt or the selectors or lots of.
He's also bloody turnstile on defense. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't know. It is embarrassing. I don't know. Currie, anyway. I'm sorry. I think his time is up. I think they chose the wrong place to try to save money.
My point is, with other players that didn't get nearly as much opportunities as he has had. That's also one of my points. Like, he's had a lot of opportunity to prove himself, and he hasn't stepped up. I don't hate, like, we not like, who am I? I'm not here to criticize professional rugby players, right? But what I see is, I want every player to do well. Like, but he's been given so much opportunity, more than any other player that I can remember, and I think that's just my point. And if Sharks or this union of all these players want to progress, right now, my amateur, he's not the guy at 10 that's going to take the Sharks forward. He's not the guy, and I think it's this comment here from Imposter says, I don't want him either, but I'm saying maybe the Stormers is the only team that can make him better. I don't think there's any one of the URC unions that he walks into, and they pick him as a first choice flower. I really don't. Even the Lions are sitting there going, hell no. Rather
We've got Sanella, we've sorted.
I mean, it's the one position that actually feels covered.
Yeah, it is. No, look, when Lombard is all of a sudden third choice flower half, like, it's very, 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 very few positions that we've got that kind of depth at flower half, which is weird. But I just think that
hard, eh? It's a hard position. Yeah. It's a tough gig, that, eh? So I understand it's not cool.
Yeah, for me, it's just for him, he needs to move. Like, I just feel that, he is not going to take the next step. He's under the microscope. Even if he has 2 or 3 great games, everyone's going to sit there rolling their eyes saying, oh, but we did this before. I think he needs that fresh start.
But so, like, the book moved around unions. Honestly, if you're Currie and Bosch or his manager or agents, whatever, where does he go? If Sharks, okay, like, we're done. What is the best next step for Currie and Bosch? Is it still South Africa? Does he go overseas?
No, it's overseas.
Is it overseas?
I think it's overseas. I think like the top 4 team would really suit him. I think he needs to go to something nice and free flowing, and to be fair, I think he could do very well. Look, one thing, for example, he's a brilliant goal kicker, and he's got a massive boot. So from a tactical perspective, he can be quite valuable if you use him right. Maybe Roach just go and get him, and he's just gonna be coached by one of the goats.
I reckon he'll do well in La Rochelle. He will freaking put in La Rochelle there. He will. Could you imagine
Currie and Bosch, Dylan Lates, and Raymond Roulet just tearing apart European teams? The Springboks that could never make it, just absolutely hammering.
He's the next Zaya West, La Rochelle, European champion. Let's go under Rog. Let's do it. that will be, and that's what I'm saying. I don't wish any ill fate on him, but it's not working for him at the Sharks, and he's got the talent. Like, look at LeBook. He was not, look. Let's be honest, guys. 3 years ago, LeBook was done, right? There was no hope for LeBook, right? And if for me, I'm not. I think there's kind of similar styles in a way. I mean, if I look at their stories,
that's exactly what I said. I think Marnie is the perfected Cohen.
Yeah, exactly. You said that exactly. He's absolutely right.
Yeah, right. So speaking about being under pressure and after a couple of bad performances and needing to bounce back.
Oh, he's throwing it. He's throwing it out there.
Chris, our phenomenal form has taken a bit of a dip.
No, we're still doing we're still doing good. We're still doing all right. Yeah, no, last week with the Sharks. Thank you, Currie and Bosch, bastard.
This is why Chris so much.
This is why I'm so emotional right now tonight. It's not because I care that the Sharks lost and he lost for the Sharks. I care that he lost my bet. Bloody bagger.
He lost my money as well. I just bet blindly. Chris just tells you what to do. He says, "Put 1,000 rand on Man United beating City this weekend. I'll do it." I trust Chris blindly.
Good man.
My first child on whatever he told me to.
Yeah. You got the next slide right. So obviously last week wasn't good. We didn't win. Was it just the Sharks? Glasgow did it. Exeter did it. Your Exeter Gloucester game was. Anyway, yeah, it was the Sharks that cost us there, and Kermash just kicking. But yeah, anyway, this week, yeah, we're going there. We're going to do another treble. We'll go Bulls at home to Connacht, Leinster at home to Munster, Ospreys Scarlets. Same again. Sharks are not lost last week. I'm going to throw that out there. But anyway, it's the way it's going for them. But yeah, confident again. 3 units. I think we can rebuild it this weekend. I think I'm very confident on these 3 guys winning at home.
Right. Well, if you're confident, we're confident, and that is obviously the odds on Boyle Sports, who are our official betting partners. And I would like to. I'm just trying to busy shows as well. Tell you about the Black Friday special, because obviously tomorrow is Black Friday. And they are doing a 15 Rand extra bet on registration, plus up to 250% deposit match, which means that whatever you deposit, they will match up to 250% of it in a free bet. So, yeah, if you needed a sign to go and sign up for BOYLESPORTS and get betting, that is a pretty big one there. So yeah, some of the best odds over there. Obviously, you can just back Chris and you can get onto that onto the hype train there. We've got a whole new betting content coming out in the next couple of weeks. We had a very cool meeting about it. Very excited about what Chris is going to be cooking up over the next few months. And yeah, it's going to be very, very cool. Basically, if you are the layman or if you are an experienced bettor, we're going to have a lot of cool for both of you to get involved with BOYLESPORTS. So yeah, make sure you go and get with them. So it is in the description. Go and sign up for them because you can't get involved. You don't have an account at the end of the day. So if you don't have an account, what have you been doing? Go and get yourself sorted. Right, gentlemen, as we start to wrap up, I think when you look at the weekend and see maybe a couple of predictions and where we see our URC teams bouncing back. Because Stormers are the only side who are away. They're at Cardiff tomorrow night, a side which I feel they can beat. Lions are at home against Zebra. Bulls are at home against Connacht. And Sharks are at home against Dragons. So could we really turn this around and go from 4 losses to 4 wins, Reese?
Well, it depends which game you're asking me about, but no, I don't think we do go 4 out of 4.
Who's
Dragons are beating the Sharks? Yeah, good call.
Who's the team that's letting us down? Yeah,
sure. You don't want to know the answer to that, Steve, but honestly, I don't know. So what have we got? We've got Cardiff Stormers. I think Stormers pull that off.
That's tomorrow night.
Bulls should do the job as well. The Bulls should do the job. I think that Lions and Sharks might be the surprise package.
Nah. We're not losing. We're not losing to Zebra at home.
No, I'm serious.
Can't be losing to Zebra at home. I will not tolerate.
Truly dead serious about it. I think that
if you're
going to put your money,
you think that the Lions are going to lose to Zebra at the spot?
I didn't say that. I said that if there's going to be a game, if there's going to be a game in which there's going to be an unlikely result, it's that one.
No, Reza. No.
Blasphemy.
I'm
Nahamba
vetoing this.
Cool.
Nahamba at 10 on the high fault. Nahamba at 10 on the high fault.
Nahamba's been at 10 and he's been losing.
Lions have destroyed. It sucked Reza's soul. I can see his soul's left already. He's sitting there. There's no hope. It's Zebra at home, Reza. You have to back your boys. Come on.
Yeah. They haven't won a game in like 3 years. I think stupid.
Okay. All right. Cool. 100%.
All right, Reza.
Listen, you asked me for an opinion. Leave me alone now. Goodness.
Yeah. What do you think? No, it's the wrong opinion.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to be positively Lions boys, but that's fine. Go Zebra. Let's go Zebra.
Steve is basically half Italian at this point, so you should be.
Yeah, I'm bringing my Italian shirt, dude. It's in the. To be fair, I did do the watch along with Sharks Zebra, and there's a small part of me that was like, "No, I can't believe the Sharks just lost. The youngsters so shit." Up the Zebra, dude. To be fair, it is quite. What I did say at the beginning of the season, I said, for the good of the competition, Zebra have to improve. We can't have a team that just gets drubbed 50-0 every week. And to their credit, they've won a game, they've drawn a game, they actually play better rugby. They put 26 points past the Bulls. At least they're actually like adding a bit of value to the competition, because there's nothing worse than that one team that just gets absolutely hammered week in, week out, and it's just might as well not play the game. The Lions have been before.
Right, I love the reasons finally losing hope in the Marius low-fed line. Yeah, I am, to be honest. And this is not for a lack of fight. I 100% believe they've got the heart. I just don't think they have the ability right now. And I think that Zebra are riding a bit of a high. And I suspect that this will be the surprise one. And Chris, don't look at me. You're losing bets at the moment. So,
it's got physio. It's got very real all of a sudden.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. No, good.
I just can't believe what I'm hearing. I can't.
Sure. You also
you get pressed off to lose against the Stormers, but now it's okay to lose against Zebra.
I didn't say it was okay.
No, it's fine. It's okay. I hope, you know what? I hope Zebra win. I hope they win by a lot. There you go.
I'm gonna give Chris a half shirt. It's gonna be a half Italian, half Zebra shirt. He's gonna make because Chris, let's talk about the Stormers. Because Stormers.
No, let's not talk about the Stormers. Let's talk about the Bulls.
Brock Harris 400th club game. What a career he's had. I want to talk a little bit about Feinberg Ngomazulu, who has been playing it.
Oh, you want to bring up Brock Harris and Sasha, my favorite. Yeah, you know what you're doing there, Stevie. Well done.
Yeah, no, well, I think we need to have an important conversation about Sasha, because it's a lot of people are having it at the moment. First of all, 12, everybody's saying isn't his position. I don't see why it couldn't be his position. I think he struggles to get over the gain line, which I think is, for me, probably also an age thing. I think he's quite young, and it'll take a while before he bulks up and stuff like that. But how much do you think we've put in too much pressure on this kid to be the next absolute phenomenal world beater, and we actually take a step back and realize that he is how young he is as experienced he is, and it's going to take time? Because we did the same thing with Damian Willemse, who was good, made the Springboks, but is now, like 4 or 5 years later, at 25, I think he is at the moment, for me, one of the best players in the world. Yeah, but they're different types of...
Do you honestly think Sasha Mbugula-Zuma is as good as Damian Willemse? Or would be as good as Damian Willemse?
Well, people would have you believe he's got that kind of talent.
Well, yeah, if you believe what you hear every day, every week you hear from, you would think. Right? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be funny. Do you think he's as good as Damian Willemse? Or could be? Because in my opinion, obviously you probably know what I'm thinking. And what is his best position as well? I don't know.
I think his best position is probably 10.
Probably 10. I agree. Probably 10.
I think Damian Willemse could be a World Player of the Year. So it's difficult to say I see Sasha Ngomazulu in the same breath, because then I'll be calling him. What do you mean no? Did you not watch the World Cup? The Junior Championships? No, I'm talking about Willemse as the best as World Player of the Year. Who's
Willemse is amazing. I think we've discussed the fact that he's actually got to where he needs.
We're the ones to disagree here.
You don't think so?
No, I'm on board with this. Damian is out of this world. I just think this is. I think it's actually a bit of a silly conversation, because I don't think that anybody in their right minds can claim to have seen enough of such a top level.
But wasn't Willemse quite a phenom at school? Was Sasha
Yeah, he
that
was.
good at school? Was he that good?
No, he was good at it. It's an interesting one. He didn't look. I'm not a massive schoolboy watcher, but Sasha goes. I
Me
think
too.
was
That's why I
really
can't comment on it. That's why I was asking you guys.
Was better at under 20 level, at the SC under 20s. I mean, he was phenomenal for 2 years at that under 20 level, which is where everybody suddenly went, "Hang on, this kid is going to be special."
But a lot of players do shine at that championship as well, right? I mean,
yeah.
Where's Augustus? Wasn't he player of the championship? Where's Augustus?
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I think
But,
that guy.
So for instance, Lorenzo Julius as well. He's obviously the jury's still out, but
I think I think he's a good player, not as good as what we get told. I want him to prove us wrong. As I said, it's like I just don't see. I didn't see him at schoolboy level, right? I didn't see.
I think he'll play Springboks.
I think he'll play the box.
I think Springboks eventually.
Like you made a very good point, Steve. Gain line at 12. International rugby is all about at the moment 12 gain line. There's no ways Sasha Manga, he's not going to be an international 12. Not a chance.
No,
it's 10 or 15 maybe. Did he play 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Which is why the Damien Villeneuve conversations have come. I personally think you put Damien Villeneuve into that Stormers side and they become a completely different side overnight. Or Dan Duplessis.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the major things they really struggle with this season is they haven't got somebody who's going over the games at 12.
Yeah, correct. I absolutely agree. Yeah.
So let's call a spade. Potential, but let's not overhype him.
Yes.
We'll wait and see.
But also, let the kid play. He's 21 years old. Like we do this too often. We tell these young kids that they're going to be the next big thing, and we expect them to be at that level immediately. Katie Moody's not helping the cause, because he's just doing it. But he is the exception. People need to realize that he's the exception, and other players do take time, and we've got to allow him to struggle and allow him to make mistakes. And just let's not tell him that he'll be the next world class number 10 before the kids their season at 10, because he hasn't. At the moment he's being kept out of 10 by Jean-Luc Duplessis.
But you know what? At least we give these guys a chance, right? Bosch, he's getting his chance at the Stormers, right? We're giving these guys the full opportunity to take their chance, right? So it's about they need to take it, and I very much agree. But situational where the guys are in terms of where they are in their career, teams, coaches, I think that is a very big factor. I think there's a lot of players that can prove that, but at least Sasha's getting his chances, Kerwin's getting his chances, and Lombard, also John. If you think about John Lombard, and these guys.
Chris, what do you think of this comment here from W8701? He says not exactly Pat Lambie, but people hype him up like he is. The next comment from Daz38 is better than Pat Lambie. I'm curious.
All right, and we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. And we're ready to go for Cardiff versus the Stormers. How is everyone doing today? Drop in the chat where you are and where you're watching from. If you've got a drink with you, what are you drinking? And who are you backing for this game? Let me know. I personally think the Stormers are going to bounce back after a couple of poor outings recently. But as a Sharks supporter, they're not as bad as my team's outings. So, could be worse. You could be a Sharks fan. But anyway, it is what it is. So, before we get started, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. And also, do check out our sponsors, BOYLESPORTS betting, and also BITDEFENDER, your kind of cybersecurity leaders in cybersecurity, shall we say? Let's see. What's everyone reckon score predictions wise? How are you thinking this is going to go? I am predicting. Difficult, actually. I think the Stormers will probably win. Looking at their team, they've got a pretty good team. I see Ben Loder's in. He's joined the Stormers. I didn't even realize that. But also some players I don't recognize. So we'll see how they go. If I can get the stream going, which apparently I cannot. So just while we go, Yeah, currently Sharks playing in AA. You know, Mamur Sabas, you're not wrong. In fact, that's really demeaning to AA. Okay, so none of my links to the stream are working. So this is unhelpful. I'm hoping they'll come on just before, as in like 5 minutes before, which is in about 3 minutes. Anyway, we will keep chatting. I think I'm getting a little bit of feedback on that, but hopefully you guys aren't. Ashington, Northumberland. Fair enough. I'm also in the UK myself. I live in Edinburgh. Ah, there we go. And the feedback's gone. Legend. Okay. So let's get the chuck some score predictions in. I know you guys are chucking in some ideas on who's going to win. But do feel free to put those score predictions in. I'm sure if anyone calls it right, we can probably get our betting man Chris to give you some inside lines on some good bets. So well, he does that anyway, but yeah, get those score predictions in, and maybe we can make a little competition between you guys in the chat. So we are about say 7 minutes from kickoff. So let's go through the teams quickly. So on Cardiff side, the home team tonight, we've got Corey Domachowski, the Welsh international, Liam Belcher and Will Davies-King in the front row. Seb Davies and Rory Thornton make up the locking pair, with Alex Mann, Ellis Jenkins and Lopeti Tamani, that's a name I haven't heard in a while, in the back row. Ellis Bevan playing at 9 with Tinas de Beer. You'd probably recognize that name. He played for the Pumas for a hell of a long time, didn't he? I'm sure he did. Mason Grady at number 11, Ben Thomas at 12, Uelisi Halaholo at 13, Harry Millard at 14, and Cameron Winnett at 15. Then on to the Stormers. Brock Harris, 38. I think he's playing like, oh God, how many was it? Like his 200th Stormers match. And he's captaining the side tonight with Andre Hugo Fenter in the hooker position, with Lee Marvin Mazabuko at number 3. Andre Smith and Ruben van Heerden locking it down. Nama Taba, I'm assuming it's Taba, with number 6, Billy Engelbrecht and Marcel Tinnison. I'm going to have 400 senior caps. You're right, JP. And then Stefan Unger at 9 with Jean-Luc Duplessis at 10. Ben Loader, the surprise for me. I didn't realize he'd moved away from the Premiership to the URC. Certainly a different kind of challenge for him, I think. Sacha Ngomazulu, who is definitely a budding talent in South Africa. And Ruan Nel at 13. And I suppose one of the newcomers this season to the Stormers, Cordinal Skosan, was tearing it up for Northampton a couple of seasons ago. So he's over there now. And Clayton Blomkeys at 15. The benches, not looking too bad. Evan Lloyd, Reese Carr, or Carrie, and Reese Litterick are the front row replacements. Josh Turnbull, Mackenzie Martin, fill out the rest of the forwards with Jamie Hill, Jacob Beetham, and Gabriel Hammer Webb for the back replacements. Onto the Stormers side of things, we've got Skaran Tabeni, Steve Sitole, and Niertling Fushier, the front row replacements. Connor Evans, it's not Handre, it must be Henry Starson, Keketso Morabe, Herschel Yankees. Interesting, he can't even start at the moment. And Warwick Galant is also on the bench. So a pretty strong bench there for the Stormers. And certainly a strong forwards replacements for Cardiff with a couple of Welsh buggers on the bench. Right, is this link going to work now? Can I actually watch this game? There we go. Let's find it. Keep those coming in, guys. 27 people watching. Let's try and get, say, 15 of you to put down a score prediction. Everyone in the UK, hi, I'm in the UK as well. And getting ready for a Welsh South African derby. So if we go into current form, neither team really having much fun in the last couple of games. Stormers need to bounce back from a 3-game losing streak. They've lost their last 3. They lost their last game 10-3 to Munster. So, didn't even register a try in that game. They lost 20 points to 17 against Benetton and 20 points to 9 against Glasgow. All rather disappointing games for the Stormers considering the talent they have. RPG. Yeah, I wish England was playing because you're always so cross. Trust me, watch me. Well, it's not going to happen again. I kind of refuse to commentate on the Sharks now because they're actually worse. The Sharks are worse than England, and I straight up said I'm not doing the Sharks anymore. So anyway, Cardiff's recent form, most recent game, the 22-all draw to Zebra, which I think the Sharks would have been happy with, but they lost instead. They did lose 12-18 to the Bulls, and that was a home game, so that was a disappointing loss, although Bulls should be playing better than they are, I think. And then they lost 31-25 away to Scarlets. So both teams looking to get back to winning ways. There's 3 log points between them at the moment. The Stormers on 12, having only won 2 games, and Cardiff on 9, having won 1 game. Right, that's not helpful. Give me the right stream so that I can actually watch this game, please. There we go. Who was that? They were talking about someone who's playing who's been serving a drug ban. I have no idea who they're talking. I missed the name. Is anyone in the chat who's been serving a 4-year drug ban in these 2 sides? Because I'm certainly not sure myself. I missed the name. They'll probably bring it up again. So the teams are on the field. Brock Harris getting a nice congratulatory hug, slap, tickle as well from his teammates. Much deserved, considering 400 senior caps and captaining the team. Just was a nice close-up shot. I was about to talk about the Stormers, but Cardiff are running onto the field, sporting a black and pink kit, and I'm not gonna lie, kind of liking it. I'm kind of feeling it. I'd wear that. Yeah. So I'm hoping to actually commentate on a good game like I did last weekend with the Bulls. Who did they play? Who did the Bulls play? I don't even remember who the Bulls played last weekend. Not sure. Can't remember. Clearly didn't stay in my mind that much, did it? So what I can see is the win probability is leaning in, I believe, the Stormers' favour, 58-32. No, 42, I think it was. And referee today, Holly Davidson. Good to see more women refereeing proper, first string, proper competition matches. It's good to see. I didn't manage to see the rest of the team. I was too busy talking. So Cardiff get us underway through number 10, Tinas de Beer, a name South Africans will know probably more than they'd like to see against them, considering he was playing for Pumas pretty well. So the Stormers have it on their 10-meter line, and it looks like Stefan Unger will set to box kick. Brock Harris providing a bit of a blocker there. Nice box kick for Ben Loader to chase. It is eventually gathered off a bit of a fumble from opposite man Millard. I love you some Holly. And now it's the turn of Ellis Bevan to box kick it back in. Now the Stormers have it. They're running out of their 10-meter line here. Clayton Bomberkeys taking a good little step there and then offloading. They're up to the halfway now. And there is big number 2, Andre Hugo Fenter. I'm just going to say Fenter because and number 8, Tennyson is through a huge gap. He's up to the 22 almost. But I tell you what, Tinas de Beer almost managing to steal that, but he has knocked it on. And they'll come back for that knock on as the loose pass is picked up by Cardiff. But what a start there from big Marcel Tennyson. You're feeling your face at the moment. Won't comment until you're fueled up. That's all right, Eric. I practically inhaled a Korean barbecue chicken burger about 3 minutes before going live, and it was a very saucy burger. So bit of a messy hands. Not the greatest pass there from Ngomazulu. But tell you what, Tinas de Beer doing well there. Unfortunate to knock it on. Although I would argue that he certainly had I would say he actually probably had rights to that. You're drunk drunk as a mule. You know what? I might drink a bit tomorrow, but doubt I'll be going hard. That is Ungara to feed the scrum, and the scrum's gone up, and it's turned. The referee's allowing it to play. No, she finally blows the whistle, and they will reset. Still Stormers ball. Also, you might see me snack on a chip every now and then. I am a bit hungry myself, but I promise to try and make it tasteful, so that you can barely see it. So still 0-0, almost 3 minutes into the game. Cardiff playing from left to right. If you are watching, or if you're not watching, if you are watching, you know. So Ungra will feed the scrum again. First scrum, first reset. Oh, and it's Davies who's under pressure there immediately from Brock Harris. And the Stormers are marching it forwards, and they will get the advantage, but it can't be controlled at the base, so the Stormers will have the penalty. And that was it was Domachowski who was under pressure there, I think. What was it? Yeah, Domachowski, actually, the Welsh international. Which means I think it was it was Davies King, and it was Brock Harris on him. It was Brock Harris pushing him, so it was Davies King. So Stormers decide to not go for the 3 there. They go for the corner, and it's a good sign, I suppose, for any attacking rugby fans. I'm English, so I don't know what that is. So they will go for the line out. Almost to the 5 meter line, about 7 meters out. They go to the middle, set the maul, and it was a big Ruben van Heerden who rose high to claim it. Stormers is moving forwards. They've got a good set here, but I think Ungar will take it out the back. And does not. Who was it? Ungar? No, Andre Hugo Fenter decides to take it out the back. The hooker, and he gets a good drive over from Namataba, and Stormers got the first try. Almost felt like Ungar was going to take it out there. I was looking at him the whole time, and Stormers power over in the corner. Really, really good there from the Stormers, keeping composed despite the maul being a bit fractured, and it ended up being a Harry Millard defending against a rather irate Fenter with Taba behind him, and over they go. Stormers lead 5-0. Do you think Ruiz is turning into a genuine prospect for the box or no? He's decent, but I think he's just too much of a thug to make it worth it. Oh, okay. Gomazulu's kicking. Why am I surprised by that? I don't even watch the Stormers. I don't know who kicks for them. Yeah, I'm not honestly that. So Ngomazulu launches it, and it's a great kick from near the touchline. 7 points to 0, with almost 6 minutes played, going up more than a point a minute. A good start there for the Stormers. They're looking solid, and I think this game they'll try and get their season back on track. I don't rate Ruiz that highly. I think he's a bit of a dick as well. And Cardiff immediately after conceding a try make the mistake at the kickoff, kicking it out on the full, and that's a bad mistake. But I do like this Cardiff kit. What do you guys think of the Cardiff kit? Let me know what you think of the Cardiff kit, guys. Yay or nay? Put it in the 69 people watching. Yeah. Well. Also, how much do you think the Sharks are going to lose to the Dragons by? Even with our box, I think we're going to lose. So it will be a scrum Stormers, dead center of the field. Nice. Wait, nice what? What was I talking about? I can't remember. So Ungaro will feed the scrum. And it's already a knee down there from Domachowski. I'm surprised he hasn't been called up for that. But the Stormers have got a little bit of a shove on there. And it does break down. Ungaro no. It does get it out. Ungaro takes it out. Gomazulu goes wide to Ben Loader. It's good to see him playing in the URC. He's been in and around the Premiership for quite a long time. And I want to see him get some other game time in a different kind of environment. So Brock Harris offloads out the back, kind of out the back, and then Ngomazulu puts it deep into the 22 of Cardiff. Tinas Tabia scrambles back to pick it up, but he's been wrapped up by Courtnall Scossan, and Cardiff under all kinds of pressure here. They're going to have to use their forwards. Don't ruin the friendship. We'll lose by one. But Cardiff are managing to control this ball a bit better now. They're they're still pretty much on their goal line here, and it looks like Ellis Bevan will be box kicking for touch. He does launch, and he does find an all right touch. Brings play up to the Cardiff 22. RPG. RPG. So I'm not seeing many score predictions in the chat, guys. Come on, chuck those score predictions down. I want to see what you guys think. These pictures, bloody hell. The referee just having a little chinwag with the Stormers hooker, old Fenter, old AH Fenter. So on the 22, Cardiff's 22, Stormers go to the middle and set them all again. Cardiff have done well to neutralise it at the moment, but the Stormers are starting to make a little bit of ground. They'll want to keep it away from that touchline. Cardiff are driving it towards it now, but they've still got it in. Ungara will feed probably Gomazulu. No, he goes to Mazabuko. Now Ungara feeds the eighth man, Tunison. Tunison? Oh, and he's not been held in the tackle, and he's got all the way up to the 5-meter line. The number 8 having a great game so far. Short ball from Ungara to Gomazulu. Mazabuko, he looked like he knocked it on, but it turned into a pass. And it's worked well for the Stormers. Bomaki's almost getting the distance, and then Ben Loader picks it up at the back. Ungara, and it was a great spot tackle on the line. Ungara looking to play it off the back. But, oh no, it's been a turnover. Cardiff have stolen it. God, I didn't even realise. A bit frantic on this 32-8 to the Stormers. A bit frantic. I mean, Cardiff are under all kinds of pressure. They can't exit their half. And it will be Bevan again to clear the lines. It's just too shallow it's far too shallow a dead ball in goal zone to pass to Tinas Tabia to clear. So he's cleared it up to the 22. So not a bad clearance. And tell you what, the Stormers number 8 doing bloody well. Tennyson is having a stormer. Yeah, lol. So the Stormers go to the back of the lineup, down to Ungra. Ungra feeds Ben Loader. He's met in a decent tackle and smacked backwards. They're on the 22, and this is Taba. Ungra feeds Tennyson. Not got much go for it at the moment. Ungra feeds Gomazulu. He decides to take on the lines. Double tackled. Ball comes back out, and it's a penalty advantage. Oh, and it's a horrible, horrible kick from Duplessis, but they will come back for the penalty anyway. And who is the referee? Her name is, I can't remember her last name. Holly, RPG, what's Holly's last name? What's her last name again? Wait, hang on. Maybe I have it on the overview. Give us a second. Hang on. No, I can't remember her last name. But reffing well, she's doing well. As the rest of the game to figure out where to get single point. No, Richard, the other way around. Stormers to win. Who scored our try? The hooker, Andre Hugo Fenter, Ricardo. And Stormers are back on the 5-meter line. They are constantly going for the jugular of Cardiff, and with the pressure they're keeping them under, why not? Honestly, keep it coming. You may end up forcing a yellow card. Bush. Yeah. Eric, what do you mean, Bush? Oh, Holly Bush? Oi. Stormers go to the front of the line out. Set another maul through their big number 5, I think, and Hearden. The maul is moving forwards. It's almost to the line. They're about 2 meters out. They've been given it to use it once. It's going sideways, and Ungra will feed. Oh, it's a miss pass, and it goes to number 13, Ron Nell. He comes back in, powers over for Stormers' second try. Holly. Her last name? Pretty sure it's not. Holly Davidson, there we go. And your squeeze, not really, but really. Good try there from Ron Nell. It was a loose pass that he managed to pick up, but cutting back inside was good. And it's just Cardiff falling off a few too many tackles. And it's costing them badly. Yeah, and it's Ungra's pass that doesn't quite go to hand immediately. It bounces. Oh, and Nell literally palms Tinas De Beer in the face to get rid of him. And powers over. And that will make it 12-0 with the kick to come. And much easier kick for Gomazulu this time. And you'd imagine he'll get it. And he does. And the game is now 14 points to 0. And they're still going at a point a minute. Bopelo. Is it Bopelo or Bofelo? I'm guessing it's Bopelo. Bofelo? No, I don't know. I'm not. Sorry, I'm trying not to butcher your name, but I'm assuming it's a soft P. And now my stream is frozen. Just give me a second on that one. I spell 51-19. That's a big score. But the way this is going, you might be right. It's a bit of a big. Going to mount up if this keeps happening. The pressure that Stormers are getting on them. Anyway, Cardiff kick off to the Stormers. The Stormers return it, and Cardiff now have it on the halfway line. Their pink shirts flying everywhere. Tinas De Beer launches a high one for who's on that wing? Mason Grady to chase. It's gone back. It's gone forwards off of Stormer's hand, and this is Halaholo, I think. Halaholo. Here's the beer out the back to Grady. Grady with a long, hello, with a long one to Millard, who is pretty handily hit out into touch by Gomazulu. And a little bit of handbags there. Stormers play so much better with a genuine fetcher. I think everyone does. But yeah, you're not wrong. That was a fairly big hit on Harry Millard there. It was yeah, that ball from Halahola needed to be flatter to get Millard a bit more time. It wasn't. It was actually Jean-Luc Duplessis who hit Millard on the wing. Might have been a bit high there. They might have a look at that. But the ball over the top from Halahola was a bit of an arc, and it just didn't give him enough time to run onto it. I think they might look at that. No, I don't think. Maybe not. Looks like the ref's happy with it. Oh, looks like they might be doing an HIA. Looks like there might be an HIA. More and more like a Dan Carter. Looks so easy. Okay, calm down. I mean, Dan Carter, arguably the best 10 to have ever existed. So Millard will be going off, I assume, for an HIA, and that is Hammer Webb who's come on. Stormers have taken the line out, and they are trucking it up with the forwards, and then Ungara decides to box kick, and it's for Ben Loader to chase, although it's gone not very far. Stormers have tapped it back, and Ungara flings it infield to Duplessis, who then flings it pretty much to no one, although Nell is there to pick it up, and he launches a kick downfield, and a decent kick. Takes play up to the Cardiff 10-meter line, so not only exited their own half, but got a decent amount of distance on that. Good kick from Nell. And Gabriel Hammer-Webb, the man who has currently replaced Millard, I think it's just for an HIA. And I think it was just the medics call there. So 16 and a half minutes in, 14 points to 0. Cardiff with a line out on their own 10. They go to the front. And quickly, Bevan takes it out and feeds hello. Is that hello? No, it's not. It's Lopeti Tamani. Bevan with a box kick for the winger to chase. Stormers rise high and claim it. There's Traba passing to Tinnison, who takes the tackle. Stormers are moving this ball really well. It's a stab through from Clayton Blomates for the rest of the backs to chase. Cardiff have cleaned up well. And in the there's been some hands in the ruck there from the Stormers, and Cardiff will get the penalty. Mamursta boss. God, Dan Carter, I miss that guy. I miss watching him play. What talent! And also, I don't miss watching him play, but just tear him apart, and that's just not fun for me. So Cardiff take it, I believe, up to around about the 10. Let's have a look. I mean, look, it shouldn't be a card or anything, because I wouldn't argue that it was that I mean, not a card, but a penalty maybe. So up to the 22. Cardiff go high, right to the front, and they've got a break here through the Petty. Bevan swings it wide. They've got it all the way to the wing here. He cuts back in field, does Mason Grady. They're almost up to Stormers' 5-meter line here. Liam Belcher, the hooker, cuts back inside, as does Rory Thornton. And the Stormers have managed to steal it. And what a steal there from Traba. Brilliant steal there from the number 6. Especially when Cardiff are in a dangerous position, attacking well. Score prediction for the Sharks tomorrow. No, I reckon I'm usually wrong when I call a score prediction. So I'm going to say the Sharks are going to lose by 8. Because hopefully I'm wrong. So, Jean-Luc Duplessis to clear the line. And he does so. He brings play up to about the Stormers' 10-meter line. It was a good little offload off the deck from Lepeti Tamani there to Bevan. And it's good. It's mostly good hands. When it's passed was not great. There's a knock on at the line out from the Stormers. Yeah, knock on at the line out from the Stormers. So there will be a scrum. Got a bit of a scrum. Oh, Gareth loves a scrum. Oh, it's unfortunate. They threw it to the front and it went straight through Brock Harris's hands. Unfortunate. So Cardiff will have to put into the scrum. 15 meters in from touch on the Stormers' 10-meter line. And it's just the commentators talking about how incredible Brock Harris's 400 senior caps is. Oh, and Unger has done. I thought Unger had done quite well there to disrupt the ball at the back, but the scrum has collapsed and there's a penalty to Cardiff. Now, what do Cardiff do? Do they get some points on the board or do they go for touch? In this position, yeah, I'd agree. Go for touch. Tinas Tabir will be going for touch. Tinas Tabir had a stellar season for the Pumas in the last 2 years. And as I say that, he misses touch. So Tinas Tabir with a shite kick, but at least he's still playing in pink. He misses touch, and the Stormers let off. That's an awful kick too. Really poor kick. I was nowhere near. He tried to go way too far. 21 minutes in. Stormers have a scrum on their own 10-meter line. So basically where the penalty was. And I have a feeling they're shaping to attack here. Scrum's looking shaky. But not from the Stormers side, but just kind of neither front row really. Oh, and I tell you what, Cardiff have stolen this. They took the initial shove and then pushed back. They pushed the Stormers back over it, and they've got the ball. Ellis Jenkins passing it out the side to Grady. Right, I think 30-point total. David Stormers play 16. Fair enough. This is good. Tinas Tabir feeding Lepeti Tamani. God, I haven't heard his name for ages. Tinas Tabir with the kick. Clayton Blommakeys inside his 22, straight to him. Simply calls the mark. Simply calls the mark. Sharks has their stars back, but I don't think they'll lose. By the way, I support the Lions. Oh, nice. I don't know. Just in the past, whenever the Boks have come back for the Sharks, the first game has always been horrendous. Like it never instantly turns around. And the fact that we've still got Cohen Bosch at 10 is actually our biggest issue. And as much as I like the guy, he's had too long to gel. He just doesn't. So Cardiff have a line-out throw through Liam Belcher on their own. On the halfway line. Where is the game live? It is on Premier Sports. Jomo? I think it's been a knee-jerk reaction from the Sharks, and I understand why. I probably would have done the same thing, which shows you how dire their situation is. So anyway, Cardiff feed it through the middle, through Lepeti Tamani. Bevan, and this is good. Oh, and De Beer is through, clean through. And he decides to kick it through for two men to chase. No one back for the Stormers. And it is the reserve, Jacob Beetham, who has picked it up. Not really. He's just dotted it down. He's just dotted it down over the line. And it's okay, so the numbers must have changed then, because that was Hammer Webb who dotted it down. So I wonder who's wearing 23. As far as the Sharks go, you speak the truth. Yeah. Tinas de Beer, after a horrible missed kick to touch, puts in a great kick through, and Hammerweb goes in to dot it down, totally uncontested. In fact, the only contest came between him and this fullback, Cameron Winnett. But brilliant play there from Tinas de Beer. And that is what he's good at. Referee just checking that the player was onside and that there was no obstruction. The try is good. And we'll stand. And the kick is over as well. Tinas de Beer. At least he was accurate on that kick. And that brings this is the Cardiff tally up to 7. 14 plays 7. And that's a brilliantly worked try there from Cardiff, and credit to Tinas de Beer for that. Ref Holly having a chat with Andre Hugo Fenter while Jean-Luc Duplessis gets ready to restart the match. We are 25 minutes into the game, and it's been a good game so far. Cardiff firing a shot despite the amount of pressure. Ugh. Tell you what, if that was Alex Mann, he is a fairly small flanker. And it looks like Ellis Bevan, the number 9, will shape to box kick here. And does so. Definitely aiming for touch there. And it's an all right touch. He didn't make that much ground. But I think Cardiff will definitely be happy that it's just off the field. RPG, where are you at the moment, huh? Where are you staying? Stormers go to the middle. Straight off the top to Ungra to Jean-Luc Duplessis to Gomazulu, who takes on the line. Met well by 2 Cardiff men. Ungra again, he feeds the 8th man, Tinnison, who has been probably the standout Stormers player so far. And it's a penalty to the Stormers, and I believe it's for not moving away, not rolling away. Poor defense from Stormers from first phase. Yeah, for that try, yeah, definitely. And now, Stormers will take the shot. Interesting. And the shot clock is on. Not that I think it'll be much of an issue. He's not Owen Farrell. It was almost like written in the stars that the first person to ever be done over by the shot clock was Owen Farrell. Poetic at its. I loved it. It was funny as hell. I mean, it angered me to shit, but not from the shot clock. Shot clock was fine. It was just Farrell. And then it wasn't the only time he almost did that in that game. But hopefully he's learnt his bloody lesson, or hopefully he retires. So Gomazulu, Feinberg Gomazulu, and he's got another one. 17 points, plays 7. That's a good kick there from the number 12. I wonder how cold it is. I wonder what the temperature is in Cardiff at the moment. I'm in Edinburgh, and tell you what, the wind chill today was not pleasant at all. So I think it's Edinburgh Benetton as well right now, and they must be playing in the cold. Oh, this is really good stepping there from Gomazulu. He's got it outside the 22 now, and then it goes to Tinnison. Ungra will probably look to feed Duplessis here. If he doesn't, no, he might try a box kick actually. Can't kick it out though. So he kicks it long for Loader to nope. It's directly into touch, so they'll come all the way back, and that's a poor kick there from Ungara. He should have made it higher, maybe a bit shorter, and given Ben Loader a chance to try and slap it back, because Ben Loader is a tall bugger. He is pretty tall, and should have done better with that. Sunnyside, SA, my man. Durban East Coast. Old Dibs. I lived in Pietermaritzburg for 14 years, and I was always in Durban. Yeah. Well, I suppose I'm an adopted Safa. But yes, I am in Edinburgh. So Cardiff up to the Stormers 22 here. Tell you what, Hula Hula there. Was that Hula Hula or was that Tamani? I think it was Hula Hula. Yeah. Met well by the Stormers defense. There's a missed tackle there, and Bevan, because he's hit from behind by Gombazulu, I think. His pass sails over Hammer Webb and goes straight into touch. And there's a lot. It was a good break there because of a missed tackle, but it was just the pass just didn't come off as the tackle from behind came in. But Stormers are on the 22. They're going to probably throw to the middle, and they do. To Ungara, who feeds Jean-Luc Duplessis, who kicks long, decides not to kick for touch. In fact, he goes almost centre field, and it's Winnett here, who does a little kick over, and Blommakeys can't make it and decides to put his foot to it instead. And he's not cleanly struck it, but at least it hasn't gone too badly for him. Tinas de Beer in the midfield, and it's been knocked on by by Thornton. And it will be, Brock Harris gets it out to Ungara. Ungara decides to go the other way. And Feinberg Gombazulu decides to play a bit of territory, chips it over the top into the 22, though. And Hammer Webb will hammer the ball away, although it's landed in Ungara's hands. And Blommakeys swings it to Jean-Luc Duplessis, who chips it over the top for Ben Loader to chase. It's not the greatest of kicks. And now the Cardiff are coming back at them. 4 degrees there. Second half will be snowing. Wait, where? Eric, where? Where are you? Oh, and this is good. Oh, it's good movement of the ball here from Cardiff, but Stormers are manning up on defence. I tell you what, though, Duplessis is putting in some fairly high shots here. He'll be lucky if he's not called up on any of these. The ball's been lost forward by Cardiff, so it will be a scrum down to the Stormers. And with just under 9 minutes to go, the scoreboard stays 17 points to 7, 10 points in it. Yeah, guys, the rest of you, let me know where you're from. Antoinette Gerber, you must be from South Africa. I went to school with a guy called what was his name? I can't remember what his first name was, but his last name was Gerber. Although we called him Gerber. Gibbs. And I think Cardiff will definitely want to try and get a little bit closer before half time, and Stormers obviously will try to pull away a bit more. Just a close-up of the Cardiff head coach there, John Dobson. Just having a look on as there's a bit of a break in play here. Northumberland. Oh, you're getting snow down there. Yeah, I don't think we might be getting snow up here at some point next week, I think. No, it was a fine tackle there from BBC. Nothing wrong with that tackle from BBC. But I tell you what, Seb Davies, he can shift. Pretty quick for a number 4. Although I found that locks now just are quite quick and quite mobile, where they never used to be. And if they were, they tended to not stay as a lock for long. I'm thinking like Matt Banahan, who was a lock and then suddenly became a winger. That was interesting. But he was also like 6'6", and he was rapid. Actually, yeah, he was about 6'6". So Stormers have to put into the scrum. They've also lost one of their own scrums. Ungara gets out the back, and Gombazulu launches a very low kick, trying to get the 50-22. Doesn't bounce far enough to go out, and it is Minute who hacks it back downfield. And Jean-Luc Duplessis will probably launch a high ball here for Gombazulu to chase, and almost, actually, I'll tell you what, it was a decent chase there from Gombazulu. Although I was going to say, wasn't a knock on from him. He definitely slapped it back, but there's been a penalty for offside. And it's Mazibuko was offside there. Cardiff certainly can't go for the points there, so they're going to have to kick the touch. 190 you watching. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Don't forget to like the video or the stream. Subscribe to the channel. Check out our sponsors. They make all of this possible and made the whole World Cup possible, actually. And chuck in your score predictions. We're not too far away from half time. Chuck in your score predictions and let me know where you're from as well. So Belcher throws to the front. And Cardiff are moving it quickly, but the Stormers have read it really well there on defense. Win it, not minute. And it's Mason Grady. Blomekes gets a shot on him, but he doesn't get him down. And tell you what, Grady's made it all the way up to the 5-meter line. Timani almost makes it over. And it's penalty advantage here to Cardiff. And definitely Cardiff will look to try and close that gap even more here. They are very close. Belcher powers over. Has he got the ball down? I believe he has. And it looks like a try, and it is. It's a try for Cardiff. And I think it is the hooker. So both hookers have scored today. It is Liam Belcher. And that was all created by Mason Grady there on that left-hand side of the field. Absolutely great run. Doesn't get brought down by Blomekes. And through that, the platform for the attack was made. Mamour Sabas joining the Stormers. Duane, is he going back to the Stormers? Yeah. Man, the man's old, though. Come on. How many number 8s do you need? The man's old. Like, he's bloody good. I mean, Christ, he's good. But, like, that's got to be like a 1-year signing. Surely. So, Cardiff could close the game to a 3-point ball game at the moment with this kick. Tinas de Beer. Stormers getting found out. Yeah, I mean, Eric, it does look like that left-hand side. Mason Grady certainly got an impact there. Tinas de Beer does curl it back round, and 17 plays 14. Tinas de Beer, despite the one horrendous kick to touch, which didn't go to touch, his boots not been bad tonight. He's kicked well, and certainly playing well as a fly-off as well. Just a quick shot of Gethin Jenkins there, also a coach. Sorry, did I say Dobson was Cardiff coach? Dobson's not Cardiff coach. He's a Stormers coach. Jean-Luc Duplessis kicking off. Ben Loader to chase. Ben Loader decides against jumping high for it. And it is taken by Rory Thornton. So Cardiff do have the ball. Bevan will feed his forwards. Try scorer Belcher. And Domachowski comes in to lend a sizable frame so that Bevan has a decent caterpillar to kick from behind. Blomekes, I think that was Blomekes, comes forwards and claims the ball in the air. Ruan Nell decides to come back in field. Ungara to Taba, or is it Mazibuko? I think it was Mazibuko. Yeah, Mazibuko. Brock Harris takes on the line. Ungara recycles to the number 8. Duplessis feeds outside to Blomekes. Blomekes gets the offload away, but it is knocked on in the tackle by the following player, and it is Taba who knocks it on. And it'll be a scrum midfield to Cardiff. And it's a good offload there from Blomekes, but Taba just can't hold on to it. I think he drops it in the tackle. I've always found I've just always found his ones in particular really strange. But in other news, it's good to see Roscoe Speckman back in the SA7 squad. What a legend! Actually had a party with him one night at the Rat and Parrot in Grahamstown. During my days as a rodent, that was a fun night. The man is not tall, but my God, he is fast, and he's got quick feet. Jesus Christ. So we've got 3 minutes left of this half. Just waiting for this scrum to get going. And I think it's Cardiff ball. So Cardiff will actually, be thinking, right, let's try and go into this halftime break in the lead. So they'll certainly look to attack the Stormers here and really get after them. And it's Davies King against Brock Harris on this side of the field. This camera, and it's been an interesting battle. I think Brock Harris has actually got the better of him, and the Stormers win the penalty because Currie Domachowski is not having fun against Mazubuko. He slips his bind and collapses the scrum. And this is really good stuff here from Lee Marvin Mazubuko, especially against a Welsh international starting prop. And it looks like Feinberg Gomezulu is going to go for points inside his own half. I didn't realize he had such a big boot. Good on him. I'd say it's a good 54 odd meters. Pretty much near the center of the field, but inside their own half. Let's say a good 54 meters. Excuse me. And this will take it back out to a 6-point game. Correction, 56-ish meters, according to the commentators. He launches it. No, he's got under that too much. Just doesn't have the distance, and it would have been away to the right anyway. So Cardiff don't concede the 3. Minute and a half left. And their clearance hasn't gone out. Not a good pass there from Ungara to sorry, not Ungara. It was Duplessis to Feinberg Gomezulu. He had to jump for that, but they do still retain possession. Ungara feeds Duplessis. Duplessis out the back to Gomezulu, who is spot tackled very well there by Halaholo. Tinnerson been quiet for the last 20 minutes. Ungara to Duplessis to Blomakis, who feeds Nell, who's then hit hard by Mason Grady. Ungara out to Blomakis out to Cornel Skosan, who's broken one tackle, almost breaks a second. Can't get the offload away. Ungara feeds his big man in Ruben van Heerden. Wait, wasn't he at the Sharks last year? Oh, tell you what, that Baba is lucky and managed to hold on to that. Ungara to Blomakis. Blomakis with not the greatest pass, but it's Gomezulu who hacks it straight off without catching it, just puts a boot to it, and Win It picks it up. And they are inside Cardiff 22, and it looks like Bevan will set for a box kick. They are already, yep, and I think they're going to try and hold off until half time here, and just go into the shed. Cheers, RPG. Wish I did every match. Don't lie. Steve's, yeah, you're right. I'm better than Steve. No, Steve's very good. And in fact, everyone, all of us have our different kinds of, I suppose, styles of commentary. I complain about my rugby teams. Steve complains about the Lions. At halftime, it is 17 points to 14 in the favour of the Stormers. And in about 15 minutes, I will catch you back here for the second half. Cheers, guys. All right, and we are back. Hello, everybody. And if you're just joining us now, welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. We are about to get underway with the second half. Cardiff are just rejoining us now. Stormers looks like have been out for a couple of minutes. And it looks like, who is it? Millard will not be rejoining us. And Hammer Webb has remained on the field. I mean, I just forgot about that. So, second half predictions. What we thinking, guys? What we thinking? What we thinking? Stormers to kick off, playing left to right. 3-point advantage. So not bad for them. But considering the pressure and the possession they've had, you'd think that they would have more points on the board. Cardiff have, as the commentators are saying, Cardiff have really got themselves back into this match, and will look to keep in touch, if not win this game. Obviously, they will look to win this game. And it is big number Seb Davies who takes the kickoff. Well, takes the ball off the kickoff and sets the ruck for Bevan to box kick, and he does so for Mason Grady, who's now on this side of the field, to chase. It goes to Jean-Luc Duplessis, who feeds inside to Tennyson, who takes on the line. Play almost back up to halfway. Jean-Luc Duplessis decides to kick, and I believe it's for Ben Loader to chase. There has been a change as well for Cardiff in the front row. Litterick is on for Davies King. It's now with Blomekes in the back field. He kicks forward. He does find grass. Oh, and I tell you what, Tinas De Beer almost dropped that in his 22. But he does get the kick away. And that was close. He did almost drop that cold. Oh! Really? Really? As soon as the half starts, the screen goes... Oh, and the Stormers go to the front again to Brock Harris. They've used that before, but it didn't work. Duplessis inside to Gomazulu. Ungra out to Duplessis again. Duplessis goes to Loader. No, Scotland, sorry. Oh, and it's a good little pop-up pass there to Masibuko. Ungra decides to go out the back to Gomazulu for both Nell and who's number 7? Engelbrecht. God, I haven't even said his name to chase. Millard. Sorry, win it. Trying to run the ball back out. Bevan will feed to Marnie. Feeds to Marnie, who is met quite well by Masibuko, who gets him down. Bevan will look to box kick here. And Hammer Webb will chase. Goes to Blomekes. Blomekes decides to put on his dancing shoes. Doesn't quite get around, but Tinnison decides to go off on a run as well. Ungra feeds Taba. Oh, and there's a knock on there. And Taba is very frustrated with himself there. He tried to ride the contact, but just knocked it on in the process. I wouldn't say that was a knock on from him. I would say that went backwards. Yeah, I wouldn't have called that a knock on. Who we still got in the chat? Hey guys, what do you reckon is going to happen in this second half? Chuck it in the chat, and let's see who's right. And if you're wondering what shirt I'm wearing, this is my rugby club that I played for in South Korea called the Busan Bandits. So check us out. It'll be a reset scrum. For a bit of wheeling, it wasn't very steady and the ball never made it in. So it'll be a reset scrum. Referee having a chat with both front rows there, telling them that they need to get that stability. Both hookers looking at her like, yeah, but you've never been in a scrum, so how do you know? But no, she's refereed bloody well today. Apart from maybe that one knock on there, I don't think she's made a mistake. So good, yeah, she's ref bloody well so far. So 4 minutes into the second half, it says Cardiff put into the ball on their own 10-meter. Bevan goes to the squirts out the back, so he has to pick up and goes to the right. Here's Halaholo, who feeds to Hammer Webb. Goes all the way to Blommakeys. Blommakeys out to Weinberg Gomazulu, launches a kick downfield, and he's kicked it dead, but it was in his 22. I'm not sure how much ground he made. I think he's brought play back up to about the 10. Bloody good kick. Good kick into the Cardiff half. Bloody hell. But Cardiff take it at the front of the line out. They do set a maul, although I think the Stormers have got this pretty wrapped up. So, yep, Bevan has to go at the back. Tinas De Beer launches the high bomb. It's gone sideways as well. And Winnett's done really well to claim that off the poor touch from the Stormers. It's Nell who has to get back to clean up, and he is dragged over and by Winnett. And it will be a 5-meter scrum to Cardiff, I believe. It was a good kick there from Tinas De Beer. But it was also poorly fielded from the Stormers, and Cardiff did very well to react to that. It's Hamer Webb. I was going to say it's only YM, but you're never sure. Hamer Webb. It was a very good kick through from Hamer Webb. And yeah, so it will be a 5-meter scrum because Nell did carry it over. Just a nice close-up of Halaholo there. So Bevan feeds. Tamani doesn't get it cleanly, and he's knocked it on. So the Stormers have regained possession here, and considering where they are, they will just look to get out of there, as far out of their 22 as possible. Yeah, you see, Eric, I was thinking the same thing. Their bench does look good. Tinas De Beer takes the kick doesn't find touch. Tinas De Beer brings it in field. Bevan again, he recycles. It's going out wide this time on. I said that was flat. And Mason Grady is a bit aggrieved by that. Let's see. Yeah, minorly forwards. Minor. I think the arc makes it look more forward than it is. All right, so we got some. What happened to Stephen? He doesn't do all the games. How are you doing, Emil? So we got some changes coming in here. Warwick Gallant is on. Okay, so Warwick Gallant must be on, and I think Gomazulu is going to 10 because Duplessis has come off. Rock Harris is being replaced as well. So Harris has come off, and Skara Udbeni is on, with Sitole replacing, I think, Fenter. Bashir has replaced Mazabuko, so a full front row change, and Warwick Gallant has come on as well. Cardiff making some changes. Lopeti Tamani making way for Mackenzie Martin. Anyone else come on at the moment? Nope. That looks like it. Stephen's always on his phone. It's because he's always talking to us in the chat. Good. Steve's back tomorrow. I think Steve's doing the Sharks game. He might be in the Sharks game. Yeah, not too bad. It is, what time is it? 8:45 here in Edinburgh. And yeah, not bad. Not too bad. Had a long day. I was up at 5:15 this morning. So Stormers get the penalty advantage off the back of that scrum for just Cardiff pedaling backwards. And considering an all-new front row, Currie getting all of the applause from his teammates. And I think Feinberg Gomezulu has gone into 10 with, I'm assuming there's been a reshuffle in the back line. I imagine, well, actually, what would they, surely they wouldn't put Galant in at 12. But it's a good kick from Feinberg Gomezulu. He's got play into the Cardiff 22. Emil, where are you from? Name like Losber, you sound like South African. Last 5 penalties conceded, 4 of them are for Cardiff. So Cardiff will definitely want to sort out their discipline if they want to win this game. Stormers go to the front of the lineup. They set the maul, and they'll get it all the way back to Currie. Unger decides it's time to go quick. Feeds Feinberg Gomezulu. Unger again. Oh, and it's been dropped cold by Taba, but they'll come back for the penalty. And I think it was offside. And that's what, out of the last 6 penalties, that's 5 for Cardiff. They keep giving penalties away like that, and we could start to see some custard being shown here, some yellow cards. Stormers naturally will go to the corner, and they do so. And I believe they are up to the fight. No, they're not. It wasn't a great kick to touch there. They're about, I'd say, 10 meters out. They go to the middle. And the maul's gone backwards, but it's starting to get some. It's not really moving forwards yet. So Unger, I think, will take it out. It's to Feinberg Gomezulu, who goes straight into Tinas Tabir. He's got some go forward there. Unger feeds his big forwards this time through Fashir, who's also on now. Tinason, Unger feeds Taba. Scored 2 tries last time he was here playing against Cardiff. Did Taba. Uitzorn. Dorp, proudly Stormers supporter. Van Heeren. And the Stormers are still playing with it. Unger out the back this time to Blommerkies. Blommerkies feeds, and straight through goes Nell for his 2nd of the game. And that was just too easy from Nell, although the pass is what made that try. First half seemed to get the ball wide rapid. Is it through middle now? Fishing for a penalty to widen the gap. Looked like it, although with that was very well played. That was very good control to build the phases from the Stormers, and then brilliant play when they went wide. Who makes this pass? Oh, it's Galant. Galant comes on and dummies, passes, and puts Nell straight through. And that is definitely a score the Stormers were looking for. So 11.5 minutes into the second half already. It's going quickly, isn't it? I've got a question for you guys. What do you prefer? Pepsi Max or Coke Zero? Because I've got both on my desk right now. And I think I usually prefer Pepsi Max. Although I do prefer either of them in a glass bottle rather than a can. And Feinberg Gomezulu straight through the middle, 24 points, plays 14. You heard Sneyman might be signing for the Stormers in the future. Great, so you can just have a placeholder because he's always injured. I do feel for the guy because bloody hell, he's a good player. Pepsi Max is underrated. I don't like Pepsi itself, but Pepsi Max is quality. So Reece Carr is on for Domachowski, and it looks like Cardiff is starting to ring the changes now. I think Evan Lloyd has also come on for Belcher. Yep. And Morabe has come on for Taba. Oh, so it's a 6-2 split from the Stormers. Didn't realise. All right, so Cardiff trying to hit back quickly. And there's Currie with a big carry over Scar and Tabeni. Tinas De Beer to win it, who stabs it forwards, and he's got a good kick to the corner there. So, oh, and his kick through came off a Stormer's leg, so it will be a Cardiff throw-in. So, Cardiff, probably in their best attacking position for some time now, have a line up about 10 meters out. They throw to the middle, and and this is, and is that Mason Grady? And it is. It's big Mason Grady who gets it off the top and basically walks over a couple of players. He is a big unit for a winger. He's a good player. And Cardiff are right back in it. Pepsi Max in the bottle, yeah. Glass bottle, so much better than plastic or a can. I don't know why, it just is. And that was brilliant. A brilliant set piece play there from Cardiff. Came off the top, down to a forward on the ground, who then delayed and popped up to Mason Grady. New hooker for Cardiff, yeah. So Evan Lloyd is on for Liam Belcher. And also Reece Carey is on for Domachowski. I don't know if Davies King has gone off yet. Or no, I think he went off earlier. I think Litterick came on earlier. And that closes the gap. I wish they give Sasha around 10. He could be a future number 10. Yeah. I mean, it looks like he's playing 10 now. But yes, it's a bit hard when you got Libok. Tinas De Beer slots the kick over. We are back to a 3-point game, people. Oh, you like just plain Pepsi? No, I prefer Pepsi Max. I'm not a fan of like really sugary drinks. I'll never get Pepsi or Coke. It'll always be either Coke Zero or Pepsi Max. And Herschel Yankees is taking the field. So Stefan Unger leaves the field, and we are now with a totally new halfback pairing. They kick deep, almost to the 22 of Cardiff, right in the corner, and Cardiff will look to clear the lines. Obviously, Unger cannot kick it out. Yeah, yeah, your backline doesn't need them. I'm not gonna lie. And it is, oh God, I keep forgetting. Bevan, who kicks long, goes to Galant. He takes his time and decides to step, almost offloads it. Then, and he tries to, and because of a on-rushing player, he's knocked it on. And we are 16 minutes into this half, and we've had 2 tries, and I think a penalty. It's been an interesting first 15 minutes in the second half. Gain line success. Cardiff leading the way with 26-21. Shocking how I'm Brew and Bucky. What? Iron Brew. Iron Brew. When you say Bucky, what do you mean? Buckfast? I do not like Buckfast. 2 tries being given away from first phase. Yeah, I know. It's yeah, so it gives me the similar vibes to how Bristol Bears have been playing recently. They've been scoring so many tries, but also conceding so many tries. So like the games they play in are just really high scoring. But then again, who doesn't love to see games like that? I remember the Lions Chiefs game back in Super Rugby when it was like what? It was like what was it, 82-75 or something like that? Just absolute night, like just insane. What a game that was. So the scrum will be reset here, and it will be a Cardiff pudding. Eric, yeah, Buckfast. I'm not a fan. So it's a free kick at the scrum here to Cardiff, and I think they'll just take their time here, kind of figure out what they want to do. No need to rush. What happened to JD Schickling? I'm not sure. I haven't seen his name for a while. Tinas de Beer, I think, will launch a bomb off this free kick, and he does. Hoping for a mistake here from the Stormers or something, a miracle from the Cardiff backline. Gallant is up to the challenge. He rises high and claims it, and the Stormers do have possession. And Yankees has definitely been cleared, impeded by the rolling away player, but the referee's not going to give a penalty. And Blomakis launches it. No, sorry, Feinberg Galmazulu launches it high, and it's Mason Grady on the ball now. He is tackled. Bevan out to the Tinas de Beer he feeds onto his big men. It's a chip over the top from Ben Thomas, and it's gone too far. And so Blomakis just picks it up and puts it down in there, and it'll be a goal line dropout. Schickling was quite good, actually. You're right. I bet you he went to France. Holly's keeping it moving. Yeah, that she is. I think she's refereed well. I think she's been very good today. And we're about halfway through this second half, and it's been a good game so far. Justin. Oh, and Mason. Sorry, Ben Loader might have been impeded there. Shadow kept away from the tackle. Anyway, and there's a forward pass there from Cardiff. I think it was from who was it? Mackenzie Martin to whoever ran onto it. Okay, you guys, we're watching rugby. We're not trying to hit on the referee. Keep it in your pants. It will be Stormers put into the scrum, and Herschel Yankees will have the honours. How old? Does anyone know how old Currie is? He looks like he's been playing for about 2 decades. That grey hair, but he can't be more than like 32, surely. Actually, considering he actually could be. Oh, it's not a steady scrum, but it is. Herschel gets it in, and he gets it out, and it's Blomakis who runs it up to the 10-meter line. Yankees to Nell. Go through the scores. So it is 24 points to 21. Stormers do have possession at the moment. We had initial try from Fenter. I think that was like 5 minutes in. And we've had 2 tries from Ruan Nell on Mason Grady. Just can't get his foot to the kick forward by Tinas Duplessis. And then we've had a try from Liam Belcher, 1 from Mason Grady, and who scored the other one? Oh, and it was Hamer Webb who scored the other. At 4, 3 tries apiece. And a fairly close game, only separated by a penalty. There's a bit of kick tennis going on here. Win it decides to kick and chase, and he claims it back, and then is smoked from behind by Gallant. And no, the ball is not out. Gallant tries to get over it and concedes the penalty. And I think they might try and level the scores here. After a great track back tackle from Flant, he does give away the penalty. And that's good, really good kick and chase from Winnett there. And Tinas de Beer will try and level the scoreboard. Schickling retired on medical grounds. I think I do remember that. Someone gets a bonus point at least, maybe. Potentially. That was really good chip and chase there from Winnett. Claimed really well. I mean, no one else challenging it for him. Flippin' hell. Paul Chem and Outeniqua. Let's see if any of you can guess which school I went to in South Africa. Take a guess. I'll give you a hint. KZN. It's in KZN. So, Tinas de Beer lining up a potentially point leveling kick, penalty kick here. Oh, Jesus, you've got to hurry up. He's only got about 6 seconds left for the penalty shot. Come on, take the flipping kick. Okay, good. And he's got it. It is 24 points all with, 16 and a bit minutes left to play. A good game, this one. I think neither team really firing how they want to. No, definitely not Glenwood. Not Glenwood. It is in KZN, but no, not Glenwood. I have quite a few friends who went to Glenwood. So Stormers kick off. I think it was Tinas de Beer that claimed it, and the ball is in the Cardiff 22. Bevan feeds what's his name? Rory Thornton. And Bevan decides to just pick up the ball and boot it downfield. And I think he brings play up to about the Cardiff 10-meter line. No, Justin, so not Glenwood. Not too far away from Durban, but not Glenwood. But it's not in Durban, put it that way. So Scara throws to the front. Yankees feeds Blommakeys. Oh, so Blommakeys is actually playing 10. Okay. And Ruben van Heerden carries it up. Blommakeys feeds Gomazulu, who shapes to kick and then doesn't, and claims a few meters because they don't tackle him. Who's playing 17? Sitole offloads. Yankees to Blommakeys. Blommakeys feeds Nell. Pinetown. No, further away than that. Blommakeys decides to change direction. He cuts back in. It's a bit of a neck roll there. And Tinnison picks it up and goes. He makes about 2 meters. Yankees, Van Heerden. Yankees again to Galant. Galant dummies. Takes 2 meters before knocking it on. Tinas de Beer picks up to Mason Grady, who's spinning out of about 2 different tackles. Offloads in the tackle, and they'll come back for the knock-on. Buffalo, no, I did not come from Pinetown, but I wasn't, again, not far away from it. Mason Grady is one strong, yeah. So I did live in Pietermaritzburg, so a school near Pietermaritzburg. Yeah, Justin, I went to Hilton. I did go to Hilton. My brother and I went to Hilton, and my cousin went to my class. So that was tense. But yes, I went to Hilton because my dad went to Hilton a long time ago. Long time ago. Just made my dad sound so old. Right, so we've got 14 minutes left. 14 minutes left for this game, and we are locked in at 24 points all. I think we've got some changes coming here. Josh Turnbull, number 19, coming on. I believe it is no, it's Thornton. Rory Thornton has made way for Josh Turnbull. So I'm a sardine supporter. Are you calling me a sodi? Sardine supporter. So, what is his name again? Bevan feeds Tinas De Beer. De Beer launches a long kick downfield. Gallant is back there and he picks it up. I swear Gallant has some of the shortest shorts in the flipping game. Tell you what an injection of pace from Gallant. He's gone all the way up to Cardiff's 10-meter line. Gomazulu takes on the line as well, and he's broken the tackle. Oh, and he's knocked it on. Mason Grady kicks forward. Gallant lets it bounce off his front before picking it up. So no knock on. Lomake's running it back. It's Starson who was the guy who got banned. Well, his first touch in more than 4 years. Nierkling. Blommakis feeds the big man in field. Yankees. Blommakis decides to go himself. Almost knocks it on. Yankees to Starson. Unfortunately, he couldn't keep his feet there. There was a clear turnover chance. Van Heerden out the back to Gomazulu. Gomazulu goes himself, decides to kick forwards. Tinas De Beer is back, and he managed to get infield to win it, who's run to his side and then kicks. Gallant's numbers falling off, but he does have the ball, carrying it in one hand. Decides to take on Winnett for pace. Winnett doesn't catch his man, and that's why you don't carry a ball in one hand, people. Gallant knocks it on. Great white may be a big sardine that he can eat you. Oh, men's shark supporter. Yes, very sadly at the moment I am. I see what you mean now. Yes, I'm sadly a shark supporter at the moment. It is it's actually more painful than being an England supporter, and that's just despicable. Anyway, get back to the game. Gallant feeds it in field to Blommakis. Blommakis decides to pass to Gomazulu. He's almost through. Mason Grady does manage to finally wrap him up, but I can't believe it. Yeah, oh my God, Cohen Bosch needs to stop. Like, he's awful. Oh, and Cardiff have just steamrolled that and walked over it. Currie feeds the new man, Turnbull. Yeah, how's it? But is a polite greeting. Yes. How's it? How's it, Machana? Yeah, no, definitely. And it's a great. Oh no, sorry. Cardiff have won the penalty, and it's against Old Scarra for being off his feet at the breakdown. Roger Dieder. Was it Roger? Weirdly, I really miss living in South Africa. So, I do. I grew up there, and it's a lovely country. Although I don't think I'd ever move back to Pietermaritzburg. It's no longer what I remember. So 10 minutes left to this game, and we are still locked at 24 all. Cardiff have the field position at the moment. They're about 10 meters out of Stormers 22. Tinas De Beer feeds in field. Oh, and it's a great line from Reece Carey. And Jacob Beetham has come on for Halaholo. And then there's a huge hit, I think, on the new man. And Cardiff have to dive on it because the ball's gone loose. And I think there could be a turnover here. Stormers might have got it. They have. Herschel Yankees feeds Blommakis. Blommakis out the back to Gomazulu. Gomazulu to Gallant, who feeds it to Nell. Got back to Gomazulu. And who's number 19? Connor Evans. Oh, it's a flat ball, and it's almost intercepted by who is it? Ben Thomas. And it's a knock-on. It's not called a slap down. It's a knock-on from Stormers. I disagree with that. I'd say that was definitely a slap down. I listen to as much Rock Rugby as I can on the tube, and I love to support the team, support the teams. Unless it's an old topic to you, say how's it too. I've seen some more countries get offended. Really? Really? I've never heard anyone get offended by that. Unless you like really exaggerate it to make it sound like you're taking the piss. Like you go, no, how's that, but that's a bit much. I suppose it depends. Some people might see it as a little bit disrespectful because it's too, especially if you don't know them. But I don't think anyone who you know will ever complain about it. So, guys, we have less than 9 minutes left. And who do we think's taking this one, eh? Do we think it'll end in a draw, or do you see a winner? And who? Both teams are actually playing pretty well at the moment. They're attacking quite well. Or rather, they're intending to attack quite well. Our Stormers can't beat these Lucas, can't believe it. We really need our top players. If we can't win against Cardiff side, then I don't know. I mean, look, Cardiff are an interesting side because for the most part, they don't perform, but they always have some games where they're just really good. And you know what's funny? They haven't even been that good today. But when they've taken their chances when they've needed to. That's the thing. Won't go that far. So Cardiff have the scrum, pretty much centre field. 8 minutes left. 8 minutes on the clock. And not the steadiest of scrums, but looks like Bevan will get it out. And and it's been knocked on in midfield by Halaholo. And it will be a midfield scrum to the Stormers. Called it a 2-pointer for Cardiff. Well, if they score an unconverted try, then it's 2 points, 2-point victory. You're right. Oof. This is a close game. Tell you what, the Stormers took all their chances. They'd be winning. They'd be winning this by a couple of tries. 88 tackles made to 80, and 13 tackles missed for Cardiff, 17 for the Stormers. That's not a good stat. It's a lot of missed tackles. Would you bring back Robert Dupree to play 10 for the Sharks? No. Purely because I absolutely despised him when he used to play for us. He was the reason we lost an entire season, and because his dad refused to drop him. That was like the one time where Kerwin Bosch was actually good, and he just never played for us because Robert Dupree had. I think we lost every single game Robert Dupree started. I absolutely despised Rob Dupree. Yes, he's been playing amazingly for Sale, but no. Oh, by the way, the Stormers have got a penalty, and Gomazulu will be. That is a call and a half. I would have gone for Poles there, but anyway, they are going for the touchline. I guess they're going for that, and he's missed touch. Mason Grady's done really well there to jump infield to catch it and win it with a great clearance. And Blomeke thinks about taking it quickly, doesn't. What a kick there from Winnett. And that is a huge turnaround. Stormers should have taken the penalty there and gone for Poles. Brilliant there from Grady? Or was it? No, it actually might have been Bevan. Sorry, other Robert. Other Robert? What do you mean, other Robert? Yeah, that was poor captaincy. All right. So, Beetham is on for Halaholo now. And Skara throws to the back this time. And it is, what's his name again? Starson who claims it. I think Lionel Cornier is still at the Sharks. And Christ, no, we need to start the flipping fly-off we signed from the Cheetahs, the one who was playing really well. Ron Nell decides to hack downfield to win it. Win it decides, no, I'm gonna do something with this, but is tackled well by the Stormers. Less than 5 minutes left on the clock. Carrie is met by some big forwards there. Starson trying to get over it, but can't. This could be 2 draws on the trot for Cardiff if it stays this way. And Bevan, who has not been taken off. Jamie Hill still sitting on the bench. Oh, it's really well taken from Blommerkeys there. Just a basketball style take. Starson. Yankees feeds the big man Stole to Kalant. Kalant steps in. Kalant cannot hold on to a ball to save his life today. He's injected pace, but he just goes everywhere without the ball. He was clean through there, and he just dropped the ball. But what a take here from Blommerkeys. Basketball style, and that's sevens kind of stuff. Oh, Kalant. Oh, he was through as well. Oh, you got to be mad at yourself for that. Clean through. Clean through. Where's K the Volho? I don't know who that is. Genuinely do not know who that is. So it will be a scrum with 3.5 minutes left to Cardiff. Do they try and get a scrum for a penalty here? Oh, apparently there's an HIA going on at the moment, hence why play has been stopped. What do we think, guys? Is it going to stay a draw? Ethan Jenkins. Now that is a name for Australia. Welsh rugby. What a player he was. Played for ages. Oh, there could be a yellow card, Evans, on a dangerous clean out. And I reckon there's going to be at least a yellow card here. And the Stormers could play the rest of this, the last 3.5 minutes without Connor Evans, who's a very tall player, but looks about 10 years old. Yeah, it's just reckless. That could be a straight red. It's certainly going to be reviewed if it's not. I don't think he genuinely tries to wrap there. I think this could be it should be a straight red. Yeah, he hasn't tried to wrap there at all. No, I disagree with her, but that's fine. No, it is going to be a yellow card. Poll complete. Stormers to win, 86%. 1% of people said a draw. I disagree. I think that was I think that's gone. Rather, the mitigation I don't think existed. There was clearly no real attempt to wrap there, but he's going to be off for the rest of the game anyway. So I suppose in that sense it's the same. There might be a look at that after the game. So in a way, it doesn't actually make much of a difference. But yeah. And I tell you what, Cardiff can go for poles here, and they will. Cardiff could be looking to steal this match. And this is exactly what the Stormers should have done about 2 minutes ago. And I tell you what, who's kicking? Ben Thomas. And it's Ben Thomas, the number 12. He will be taking essentially what could be a match-winning kick. And he'll be looking to use all 60 seconds as well. Bloody hell, Cardiff have only won one home match in the last 12 months. Stadium going definitely quiet. Deafeningly quiet. Ben Thomas strikes. I think he's missed. And he has. And Skorsan decides, nope, I'm going to try and run this out. And Mason Grady hunts him down. Two minutes to go. Stormers trying to play it out of their 22 here. Oh, and Stormers have got a penalty. Hands in the ruck. 2 minutes to go. Stormers need to make their way all the way up the field to try and steal a win here. Otherwise, it looks like it could very easily be a draw. And if any of you in the chat said it would be a draw, let me know, because that you done well there. Gomazulu clears up to about 10 meters inside their own half, so not the biggest clearance in the world. With a minute and a half left, this will be an intense finish to the game. Not straight from Scarratt's, not been called. Referee, she's let that pass, and I think that was definitely not straight. They've got the maul going. It's moving forwards gradually. Yankees will take it out the back now. Feeds to Gomazulu, to Blomakis, who decides to take off, almost breaks through. Back to Yankees. Yankees to Gomazulu again. Takes on the line. I don't think he wanted to give it to Khalan in case he dropped it again. Nierkling making a few meters. Yankees decides to step and go. Doesn't. Oh, and there's a really good steal there from Cardiff. And it's a big foot pump through. Oh, Blomakis might have knocked it on there. And he has. That was a cruel bounce of the ball there on Blomakis. And just a ton of follow-up pressure. You call the draw because you're tired of the disappointment. Yeah, definitely a knock on there. Good call from the referee. Yeah, that wasn't good from Yankees. I'm not going to lie, Justin, you're not wrong. He should have consolidated rather than tried something. Stormers under all kinds of pressure. No, Sasha should have won it. Should have won it for the Stormers. But, you know, but poor captaincy. They didn't take the points. Both teams have had 6 scrums. Both teams have lost one of their scrums. This one is a key one for Cardiff. Do they eke out a penalty? Do they just play and try and go for the try? Maybe a fancier drop kick? Who knows? We are in the red. So it's big Mackenzie Martin off the back. He's almost to the try line. Oh, there could have been obstruction there. Cardiff about 3 meters out. Mackenzie Martin. He's the one who almost got them all the way to the line. Oh, there's a bit of no arms in that hit. Cardiff are really hammering on this line. Mackenzie Martin again. He's not quite there. The number 7. Ellis Jenkins. Can't quite make it. Tries to push himself over. And I think they're over. And I think Cardiff has stolen this at the death. It will be checked by the referee, but I'm pretty sure that the Stormers have just lost. Hey, 208 people. You know what? I think for a URC game, that actually is the most people I've had in the stream. I think we might have had a few more for like one of the World Cup games. I'm not sure. I rarely look at it, to be honest. But I think that's game over for the Stormers. Yeah, try. Let's have a look here. No, not really. Oh, has he knocked it on? I don't know about this. Come on. Yeah, that's a try. The on-field decision was a try, by the way, so it has to be proven not to be a try. It did look like a knock-on at first, but having another look at it, I don't think it is. Yeah, it's a try. Stormers go down for the 4th time in a row. And that is the game. Woo! And the Stormers will go away with a solitary point. And it's Reese Litterick who gets up with the try. And that's hey, well done, Cardiff. They do convert it, making it 31 points to 24. The Stormers come away from this game after being 14-0 ahead with just a solitary losing bonus point. And Mason Grady probably deservedly wins man of the match. So a rather disappointing end to the game for the Stormers. Well done to the 11% of you who called a Cardiff win. But, you know, their torrid time in this competition continues currently. And Cardiff, after a draw last weekend, have got the win at home. A number of their players played brilliantly. And, lol. The app I use that tells me scores just said it was 24 all full time. So I don't think they'll update that soon. Anyway, thanks for joining me on this stream tonight, guys. It's been a pleasure to sit with you and chat through the game. Thanks for the chat about Pepsi and Coke, and and I look forward to seeing you through the next one. Look out for the review. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, BitDefender and BOYLESPORTS. And see you next time, guys. Cheers.